Welcome to episode 42. It's a very special episode.
Yes,
I'm so excited that I busted out the deep V.
Yeah. Oh shit! He got the deep bro V on.
Except for I got the camera far back. You can actually see where it ends. Before it's like it was the imagination.
Oh, you got a slideshow going too?
Oh, it is
just a static image.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I was like, there's really nothing else to do with the page there because it's just going to be all that topic. But before we get to the main course, I want to start with a little tasty appetizer. The tasty appetizer that is Dad Bod.
Dad Bod. Oh, God.
Dad Bod. Got to see Dad Bod.
You did.
It's very exciting.
You got to see Dad Bod and people you haven't seen in close to 20 years, I would imagine. So that was interesting.
It was a long time, and you know how my memory is, so I'm just like, oh, fuck, what's the name?
I hate
Who's
you,
this
Joe.
one? Who's that? Who are these people? No, it was fun. I got to meet Tord and hug Tord. I touched him. I whispered. I said, "Thank you for healing with me. Thank you." It was fun. It was a good show. How was it on your end?
It was okay. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. I found out at 9:45. Oh, you didn't know we got free beer all night?
Oh,
why would I know that? Why would I know that?
It was in the rider. You didn't fax that over?
I didn't get the rider.
Jeez.
It was a pretty fun show though. My throat is still shot. My voice is still gone.
Mine too, because I was like, Dad Bod. Woo. It
was awesome to see you and our other people out there.
Yeah, there was some support. People came out. People, they wanted to hear it.
Some D&Ders / listeners / friends / listeners / friends siblings that I forgot about. It was interesting. It was a good show. It was a good show.
Are we gonna start? Are we gonna start the hype train for the next show, or we'll do that some other time, maybe?
Yeah, we'll do it another time. It's kind of a bittersweet show for me today because this is the last show from this house. We moved over the weekend, and I will never podcast from here again. So it's kind of sad. Man. It's kind of sad.
I'm gonna miss seeing Teddy just walk around shirtless in the background with his little belly out. Just.
Why would you will still see that?
Yeah, he'll still creep.
The only thing is I have no internet, so we're trying to sort that out.
Phase 7, man.
It's phase 7 at this time. But I'm not on hiatus. I'm not taking a break. I'm not taking a break from the show because I want to at all. It's just it's an internet question. It's up in the air right now.
I think that answers my question. Am I going to have to do a solo episode or some sort of Vaulty next week? I don't think I have Vaulties, so this is going to be interesting.
You might have to do a solo or get a special guest to come on. Or I might have to just drive to your house. I don't know. But I can't. I have no internet.
I know you were talking about doing phone thing. If you can get on Discord... You know what? Let's do it later. Let's talk. Let's figure it out.
We'll handle this later.
Another time. I think we might be all right. If you can get on Discord, I can do things on my end. So
yeah, I mean, we could at least do a show. I don't want to stop, especially not after what I saw at the theater Friday. Holy shit! Before we get into it, I just want to say one thing. Okay, just one thing, and I don't remember what that thing was, so let's just get right into it.
He's stalling.
I don't remember. It was like not related to Halloween at all, but I'm like, I just want to get this out real quick because it frustrates me, and I just want to put it out there, and then we'll get right into Halloween.
Was it about what it is? Was it about the movie-going experience or something?
No, it wasn't at all.
Because mine, I went at the first available showing to see Halloween 2018.
Yes.
And so it was a Thursday at 7. It was packed. It was so packed where you go in and they've got the spots for, the wheelchair and the handicap accessibility. I never see those folks in there. Oh, they rolled their asses in on that Thursday night. Oh, you better believe it. That whole fucking row, they came out to see Michael Myers kill some people. I was like, yeah, this is great. For some reason, that excited me so much. But I ended up, and I knew I would have to sit next to strangers. I went by myself. And I was like, this is something about this is going to suck. There's going to be phones, babies, something. I had to sit next to two ghetto dudes, and they didn't make it fun. A lot of talking, a lot of, laughing during inappropriate, like dramatic moments. Mm-hmm. And they really started, jabber-jawing during the scary moments. And I was like, oh, you're frightened.
Oh, you scared. You're scared.
Frightened. Oh, okay. And that made me like, it almost made it worth it. Like once, like the second half, it gets scarier and scarier. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, you're frightened. How adorable. You're tough.
That's like the haunted house move where you're like, try and scare the people that work at the haunted house back. Like you're scared. You're coping with this in a weird way.
Who tries to scare the Halloween people?
You've never seen people like try and like scream at them back because they're trying to, and they like try and laugh at them like, I wasn't even scared. Like,
oh yeah, I've seen that.
You're trying to put on a show for the people you're with, but you're really scared and can't handle it, and you're uncomfortable being afraid. Like, just embrace it. You're scared. I was scared as fuck during that movie. Just embrace it.
Now.
If you haven't seen the movie, by the way, don't listen to this show. Like, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen to it, right? We're getting deep, right? We're going full recap.
I was going to do spoiler free, but if you want to talk about all of it.
Spoiler free? How could you do spoiler free?
I didn't want to spoil any of the kills. Just kidding, because everyone dies.
Before we get into spoiler free. We can't because I had a listener / friend of mine who was at the Dad Bod show, and he was like, "Bro, don't look at me. Don't tell me if you liked it. I don't want to hear a goddamn word. I'm going to see it tomorrow."
Don't you look at me. One thing we didn't do last week when we were, getting on the hype train, previewing it, we didn't discuss box office at all.
Oh, that's
I know.
Right. And I still don't even know what it is. This will be fun.
I do, obviously. Mm-hmm. I would have been way off. So, Jim, what's Halloween going to make in its opening weekend?
30 million.
I probably would have stretched it to 40 because of my personal hype. $77 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest horror movie opening of all time?
I don't think so, but the record that it did break that's the highest grossing female lead over 55 years old. Some fucking Moneyball stat.
Some old lady, yeah.
They got real deep. Some advanced statistic that they had to go to. But, I mean, don't be ashamed of it. $77 million is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, Jesus
I don't think
Christ.
anybody saw that. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I wouldn't have predicted it. But you know what? It was fucking packed. It was fucking packed on Friday night. And what was cool is there were kids there. There were teenagers there. There were little kids with Halloween T-shirts on. So I'm like, okay, this is a generational movie. Like you had parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, the kids, everyone was coming out to this shit.
Yeah.
And it was neat.
I don't think the ghetto guys next to me knew a lot about what was going on. Because there would be, callbacks and stuff here and there, and people would pop, and they were just like, I don't know. I don't understand anything that's happening right now. I'm going to talk about it, though. So $77 million. Last week, you teased me about the Rotten Tomato score because you happened upon it. Now, the Rotten Tomato score has changed since then. What was it last week?
80. It was 85 when I teased it. Then I told you it went up 1%. So at one point, it went up to 86%.
Okay.
Then when it opened, it was at 79.
It's last I checked, it was at 80.
So it went back up.
It went back up. So it's probably going to live at around 80. I think audience, that was critics. Audience was 77%. So it's that very rare situation where you have a horror movie where the critics seem to appreciate it more than the audience.
That's
Very,
odd.
very weird.
'Cause
Yeah, it's
I can't
weird.
think of one fucking reason why. This has been a trolley review movie too, because most people, I mean, 80%, it's got good reviews, right? Generally positive. But then I'll hear from somebody I work with. He said, "Yeah, everything I was hearing was good. You said you really liked it, and I know you're really into these fucking movies." But he's like, "I read one review, and the title of it was like, not only is it a bad movie, it's a bad Halloween movie." And I'm like, that's all backwards. That's all of that is wrong. And then he said in the review, they went on to say that it tries to do H2O, but it does it way worse. And I'm like, that is completely the opposite of what happened.
I have seen some.
That's
I wouldn't say
clickbait.
hateful. I wouldn't see. I've seen people not like it. Like it's not a perfect movie, and we'll definitely get into
No, of course.
some things. But there are certain people who just didn't like it at all. Not like it's good, but they just don't like it. And I'm like, oh, I don't understand you as a human being.
I can't break bread with you. Don't talk to me.
I don't
Don't come to a
understand
dad
you.
bod show. I don't want to take a request from you. Don't buy me a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when people come up with that, I'm like, oh, you didn't like the first one then? Like you don't like Halloween? You don't like any of it? Because like I could see how I really love the first one, and there's things I like about this one, but to just say like I didn't like that at all, like then what did you like about the original?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
Even if you're a very casual fan, like I know who Michael Myers is. It's a Shatner mask guy, kills Jamie Lee Curtis, and you don't care or know too much about the details. The movie is you'll still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's not like you have to be a fucking, a scholar of the mythos. So yeah, that was very strange. I saw a headline a couple days before I went and saw it, which drove me crazy. It was like, is this? It's the best sequel to a horror movie ever, and I was like, God, don't do that to me 2 days before. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's rough because that expectation bar can't
Yeah.
help but fluctuate because of that. But I did tell someone today, and this was just off the top of my head. Like I didn't sit there and put time and thought into it. I was like, I don't know. Like other than Empire Strikes Back, I don't think there's a sequel that I like better compared to the original, you know?
Yeah. Now, we haven't talked about how we're going to do this show. I kind of have a pros and cons list.
Let's
But
do
I-
it.
but-
However you
but-
want to do it, I'm ready.
But I also listed it in a way where we can kind of go through it chronologically and talk about the movie, chronologically, beginning to end. How do you want to do it?
I can do it either way. There are some deep thoughts,
Okay.
things I have that
Okay.
are spoiler-rific.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
but-
do a mixture because I'm sitting down. The movie starts up and I've got this. My heart's just like it's doing it. It's like
Yes.
Universal logo, and I'm like, oh, it's been a while since my heart's done anything. This is cool.
My heart's
And it went even more into overdrive when orange font popped up on the screen. And for some reason, that orange Halloween font, I was like, "You're already doing great, guys."
There was
Guys.
a collective feeling of that. I could feel the buzz in the theater. It felt like I was seeing Star Wars, and it's got the like Lucasfilm logo, and like that everyone had that feeling, and I
Yeah.
was like, I thought I was alone all this time, and
Yeah.
just a horror movie nerd. But everyone got buzzed when they saw those titles.
Now, what are your thoughts? Because then it goes into the movie, kind of a cold open. Then it slams to more opening credits. But these opening credits, it's like Halloween, and it's the pumpkin from the first movie, but it's rotted away, and like they did the film trick, time lapse backwards, and it's rotted away, and it's starting to come back to its full form. Meanwhile, the credits are on the side, like this person's in it, and Judy Greer's here to fuck up the movie a bit. Did you like that? Because some people didn't like that. They thought that it was corny and stupid, and I thought it was the
loved it.
coolest thing.
I loved it because see, those people they're not like us, Dale. So and honestly, I don't give a fuck about them. They're not like us. So when Halloween 2 opens, the pumpkin splits apart and there's a skull in the middle, right? So this is just another take on that.
I mean, obviously the symbolism's right there. It's just
Of
like, oh,
course.
you thought it was dead, but no, it's back, and like, oh,
I
very
loved
good.
it. I loved it.
Very
I was popping right then. And I loved the opening of the movie. Because I thought to myself, Dale, how are they going to do it? You know, you're thinking it's hard not to imagine these things. Are they going to start with a flashback? Are they going to start with a nightmare sequence? Are they, like, how are they going to start it? And I thought they started it perfectly.
Well, we discussed it, and
like
I
Halloween
think
4.
and I think we agreed, like, yeah, because we were kind of breaking down the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it probably starts at the insane asylum. Like, we got to get Michael out of here. So obviously, that's a scene very early in the movie. It probably opens it, and we were right about that. And yeah, it's a very good scene. I like how the atmosphere, because you're at the nut house and they're really giving you some of the other weirdos, and it's kind of got like a yucky, all these people are deranged vibe, and locked doors and clank clank and chunk chunk and security waivers and all this kind of stuff, and don't be close to that guy sort of thing. And we meet those characters that we saw in the trailer, the guy and the girl reporter, and they're podcasters, true crime podcasters.
That was perfect.
I was just like, yeah, it's 2018, isn't it?
Perfect. That was perfect.
I mean, with
we had them built up. I was like, maybe he's related to Loomis in some way, and he's following up on his grandpa's work or something. He's like, no, I'm just a podcaster.
Yeah, and she's investigative journalists.
It was a great lens to show us, to get us caught up, get us caught up. It was a perfect lens to show that through.
Yes.
We don't have to go straight to Laurie Strode. Like, what lens can we open the movie with? Through these people's eyes.
Yeah, and I don't even remember what exactly exposition was there, but I'm sure the doctor was just like, oh, yeah, this and that. And, oh, he's very aware. He saw you come in. It's just shit like that.
It's good.
And, and it's that, they're out in the yard, scene that's in the trailer, and they're all in their squares. And he's just like, don't go past that square.
Whatever you do.
And I know storytelling. We all know storytelling. It's just like, he's going to fuck up. He's going to fuck up. And he does it. He goes a little bit over the line. And I was like, oh, you shouldn't have gone over that line just even a little bit.
But it's like the top of where his shoe touches the ground is behind the line, and where his shoe just raises up is over the line.
Yeah. Like that. Like even that was really good. And he's just
so
like
tense.
And he was very like, I love the dynamic for him changed. When he's just like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this and that. And, oh, yeah, this is my partner. She's pretty hot. And he gets out there and he's like, Michael, I just wanted to, interview you, talk to you. And that's the thing in this movie that I didn't expect is just the Michael Myers talking. People kind of like, what's he saying and all this stuff. Because we're going to get to this guy, the podcasters talking to Laurie Strode saying, we want to record you talking to him and getting it off your chest and stuff. And I'm thinking in my head, if they do anything like this, I just don't know if it's going to be great or awful
or shit.
And I don't know if he's going to say anything. And I at that time, I didn't know if that was going to be the catalyst. Like, oh, they're going to get him in the same room. Shit's going to go crazy and our movie's going to begin. Like, I didn't know because I'm sitting there watching it for the first time. But right now, and he's talking to Michael Myers in the nut house yard, and he takes out the mask. We've all seen this in the trailer. He takes out the mask, and everybody starts losing their shit a little bit, the crazies. And Michael does that.
Feel it.
He does that little like look, and he's like, "You can feel it, can't you, Michael?" And it just gets kind of tense.
Yes.
Atmospheric. John Carpenter's, behind the keyboard with like 3 joints in his mouth, just doing his thing, having a good time. And I don't remember what he says, because he says something. I think it's say something, Michael, say something.
Yeah.
Anything. And like all the the crazies are getting louder and louder, and then it smash cuts to the credits and the pumpkin does the pumpkin thing. But yeah, it's a very good opening. We get to see Michael Myers. We get to see a lot of his face, more than you'd expect, but not in a bad way. And even if it was, it's like, yeah, he's a human being. It's not like, oh my God, it was Bono all along. It's like, well,
yeah, not in a bad way, but enough to see his fucking eyeball. Like, yeah, Laurie left a mark on him too.
Yeah.
Enough to see his fucked up eyeball and to see that his age. I think it's important. We joked around about 70-year-old Michael Myers is even scary.
Yeah,
we joked about that, but to see his age and to to see that he's a guy, to see that on the surface he's human. He's a person. And I think that helps. I don't think that hurts. I think that helps. He's not disfigured like Jason. He's not like, I'm ashamed of my face, I have to put on a mask. And oddly enough, the vivid dream I had about this sequel centered around him talking. And in my dream, he eventually started talking. I had no idea that had anything to do with the plot of this movie. But the beginning chunk of this movie is very obsessed with him talking. Will he ever talk? Will he ever give an interview? Will he ever tell his side of the story? And I'm like, at first, I'm nervous, like you. I was like, this is interesting, and I like it. I like new directions, but I need a Halloween movie in here too somewhere.
Well, I thought they were going to thread the needle perfectly later on with the granddaughter. I was like, oh, they're bringing this back, this talking stuff back, and I was like, if they do it this way, it'll be much more acceptable. But we'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, at this point, we've got opening credits. We got the cool intro with the mask. So Michael knows that they have the mask, all this kind of stuff. Like, you need this. Like, people aren't really thinking about that. But logically, when you're putting a fucking story together, how does Michael know that they have the mask? Oh, because he showed it to him and blah, blah, blah. So I think the writers did a great job all around on this. Yes. And a lot of times it's because of details like that make it flow in a way that's not ridiculous. And
have a plausible catalyst. There's all kinds of podcasts. I've listened to them, the serial killer podcast things. It's been 40 years. Tell the story through these people. That makes sense why we're going to hear details again and why people are going to be drudging it up, because these people weren't there. They weren't part of it, and they're doing research for a podcast. It is a really good idea, and I was really pleased with that.
And when it's like podcast, like we don't hear podcasters until this next scene right now, where they say, well, that was kind of a bust, but we still got Laurie Strode. That's going to be a good angle for our podcast on this topic. So, but if we can get her, we're gonna do good. So they go to Laurie Strode's compound. She's got this big property. Yep. It's like we saw it. She's like this, it's militarized. She's got fucking barred gates and all this shit and floodlights and motion. It's crazy. She's fucking. She knows, man. She knows it's gonna happen, and she's prepared. She's been preparing for 40 years. Mason was asking, like, well, how the fuck, how'd she get all that property? And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe she wrote a book. And then I was like, oh, her family's in real estate.
And it's Haddonfield, Illinois. It's not like beachfront property in California. It's like a fucking shitty farm in Illinois. There's tons of those. So the podcasters go to Laurie Strode. And it's cute how because Laurie doesn't want to give the interview, but they're like, how about $3,000? And door opens. Very, very funny, cute moment. We're investigative journalists. And then the female's like, how's $3,000 sound? And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to have to do that. We're real journalists. She's like, we do a podcast. That's where you hear podcasts when they try and convince Laurie to come in. We're journalists, Laurie. Yeah, we got a podcast. You want some money?
I think that's the only time you hear the word podcast, because even when they're talking to Laurie, they talk about we did investigative coverage of this other court case and stuff. I think they purposely liked the podcast angle, but they didn't want to say podcast a lot, and
they just did it enough.
So.
Just enough. Boom, little sprinkle, and it was kind of humorous and broke the tension.
And I'm glad that they didn't spend a lot of time with these guys. Like, oh, they did this. Here's the name of their podcast, and they covered this one thing and got this guy off death row. And it's like, no, we're not here for them.
Right, perfect amount of them.
Get them in the house, and they get in the house, and they're like, and they know they've researched this, so they know all about Laurie Strode. So they're asking her leading questions, trying to get her to say some shit, talking about her kids, and it's a good way of getting the exposition out, because she's like, oh, you're twice divorced and all that, and and you lost custody of your kids. When did you get your kids back? And she says, I didn't, but you knew that. Which is cold, and it's a good line, and everything's good. And then she's like, "Get the fuck out of my house! Give me that $3,000."
But I'm gonna need that gimmick.
Oh, I'm gonna need that payday, brother. Give me that envelope. And this is another way where we find out. Although we get in the first scene, Michael's being transported
Mm-hmm.
because he's been in the nut house, and it's kind of nice. And they try to help them mentally, blah blah blah. But they're like, "Ain't nothing we can do. Just put him in a regular fucking shithole for him to die in."
Well,
move
this
him
was
downstate.
important. I mean, not super important, but it was like, but it's believable. They're closing it. It's closing. It's like this old rundown, Smiths Grove's this old rundown mental institution in Illinois, in Podunk, Illinois somewhere, and it's closing. So they got to move. They're moving everybody, not just Michael.
I've seen it twice and I missed that. I gotta go see it again.
I know. I definitely do. But it makes sense. It's not just like, which one you picking up? Michael Myers. Like, why? Why wasn't I notified?
And I like how they talked about how they've been trying to study this dude for 40 years. He's had like 30 doctors try to talk to him, get him to open up, and nothing. And this doctor, what's your name, buddy? I'm gonna find out your name. Dr. Ranbir Sartain. Dr. Sartain. Is essentially, I wouldn't say protege of Dr. Loomis, but he's studied under Loomis.
Right.
So you have some of that connection, which is fine.
Took over for Loomis.
Says it right up front, which I noticed the second time. Says, I've been obsessed with, Michael Myers and trying to, figure out why. That one clicked a little more in the second go around. And
we'll get into that.
And I think it's around this time, because I'm looking at the Wikipedia, but they don't have everything. I think it's around this time we meet Karen Strode and her husband, who's trying to kill a rat or mice under the kitchen counter.
Funny.
He's funny. He's a funny character. I always get concerned about the comic relief characters in these horror movies. It's hard. It's hard to do.
Right.
They did good. They do good with a little boy later on. Yes. I was fucking surprised. So we meet the Strodes, Laurie's daughter, Laurie's granddaughter, and this is the part where I have to ask how you thought about Judy Greer and the granddaughter's acting, because I'm just gonna come out and say it. I thought they ate shit.
I thought the granddaughter was okay. I thought the Judy Greer didn't feel right. It just was weird.
Yeah, it's like they did everything they could to try to ruin this Michael Myers movie, but it's like, nah, you can't. Good try though.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
And this one isn't the granddaughter's fault, but did you call grandmother? Did you call grandmother on the phone? I'm like, grandmother? Fucking year is it? Yeah. And it's not her fault. That's in the script. It was on her phone when Laurie Strode calls. It says grandmother, and I'm just like, who decided that was acceptable? Could she not say grandma or something? Yeah. So they were like, just make her say grandmother, because she says grandma like a fucking half-wit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we meet the Strodes. Okay. We get a strange relationship. Obviously, not the biggest fan of her mom. Rough upbringing. Social services took her away when she was 12. Still loves her. You love your family, even if it's all fucked up, which it is.
Became some sort of therapist or psychologist or something. Apparently,
something like that.
Some kind of counselor.
The granddaughter's in high school. It's a big Halloween dance coming up, and she just got accepted or won some award for the National Honor Society. She's smart. She won a Smart Kid Award, same award that Laurie Strode won when she was in high school. So we meet them, and the granddaughter wants Laurie in her life. Mom, not so much.
Can't blame mom either, really.
Yeah, we can't, but I can blame how she says it.
Well, that's not what I mean.
Fucking hell, man. So, am I missing anything up to this point?
No, I don't think. No.
Okay. I think. Yeah, we meet the friends. We meet the granddaughter's friend. She's got her girlfriend, and her girlfriend has a boyfriend who's a stoner, and that always fucking makes me uneasy, because I'm like, how cringy is this going to be? Not too bad.
It got a little. It did get a little cringy.
His
but
tattoo,
not as bad as it could have.
Tattoo is pretty bad. But so,
the random motorcycle interaction is also odd.
I think they were trying to do that so he didn't hear something.
That kind of makes sense. But
And they
then I
needed to
don't remember
mask
that
it?
coming into play.
No. So we meet them, and that's where we get the lines like, "Oh, wasn't it her brother that did that?" And she's like, "No, it's some shit people made up." So we get a little more exposition. We know the Halloween dance is coming up, and we know she has a boyfriend. And we meet the granddaughter's boyfriend. He's so handsome and cute, and he's got a buddy who's funny, and everything's great.
We
Everything's
get the trio
fucking
shot of them walking down the leafy fall street.
Yeah.
You knew we were going to get that because you
Yeah,
saw it in the trailer, sort of.
We get that. Now, at this point in the theater, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. Stoner Kid didn't make me want to put a bullet in my brain. I'm like, I'm having a good time. I'm gonna need some kills here, guys. I'm waiting.
I'm
I
enjoying
need
it at
to see
this
it.
point. I'm enjoying it at this point, but I'm still uncertain because I remember seeing H2O, and in the first few minutes, like, okay, so where is this going to go? That's what's important to me. And so I'm sort of anxious about the big parts.
Yeah, like I loved all the Laurie Strode stuff, like the daughter and granddaughter and high school dance stuff. Every time I'm meeting a character, I'm like, "You gonna die, you gonna die." That's why you're here, and I'm pretty right for the most part. Although there are a few characters who surprisingly don't meet their end, to the point where I'm wondering if there's an extended edition in our future where somebody dies.
This movie did a good job, and I can't explain how they did it because there was nothing overt, but it was very tense, especially when you have an actor like Jamie Lee Curtis who's like, "I'll do it, but we got to kill Michael in this one." Okay, I'll do it, but you got to kill me in this one, since that didn't work. And so I felt there were stakes. Like, you're not sure who's going to survive this, especially when you get 3 Strode generations. You're like, any of the 3 of them could die, and this movie could still work at the end, So I felt like there were stakes, and I liked these people. It's not like Friday the 13th where like, oh, I can't wait till he gets corkscrewed in that fucking hand.
I like the granddaughter, character-wise and stuff, and I'm watching it at this point, and I haven't really decided if she's, a great actress and all that stuff. But I'm like, I get it. She's cute. I love that she wants her grandmother to be in her life. That's that's adorable. But at this point, I'm realizing I know Michael's coming. I know what I saw in the trailer. He's in it. But this movie at this point, like, this is Laurie Strode. This is a Laurie Strode movie. Big focus, makes sense, obviously. And I'm like, this is great. Like, the scene with the podcasters, very good. Michael's being moved at 7 p.m. So she's out there. She's on the fucking street in her car, drinking, fucking with guns and shit. And she sees the bus.
Scene.
And she sees the bus come out, and she's just drinking. She screams, and like this woman's broken. And I was like, oh, I didn't know we were making a movie.
Yeah,
I thought we were just gonna kill some teens.
No, they were making a
cool.
movie. That's very important too, that scene, because at that point I thought, oh, this is a big reveal that I didn't see coming, and then I ended up being wrong, which is good. But also,
I see.
We didn't see any Sartain in the trailer, I don't think, or maybe maybe he's in the background of a shot, because they're doing the mask. But we don't see him talking. We don't hear his voice. We don't hear any dialogue. We know nothing about him. They kept him under wraps. They did an excellent job. I'll just do this in general because I don't want to have to keep doing this every time they do it. But they did a great job of making sure you know what scene you're seeing from the trailer and building up the tension within that scene. You see the bathroom scene. You know what happens. You saw the trailer. Yeah. But how is it happening? The tension that builds up because you know where it's going. The closet scene. You know at some point he ends up in that fucking closet because you saw it in the trailer. And I think they made the trailer in a way so where you would know, like, this is the scene that's coming up. And it's only a matter of time before this thing happens.
Well, in a trailer, they would either give you a setup to something or a payoff to something. So it's like, all right, I know this is the setup. But what's that payoff going to be? Or it's like, okay, we know he comes out of the closet. This is definitely that house. How's he getting in there? What's that? Like, how's this going to go down? Suddenly that kid's screaming. He just saw a weirdo in the hallway. And I'm like, it's happening.
So my heart was pounding. Oh, my heart was pounding. When we get to the bathroom scene, we'll get into that. So yeah, Laurie's drinking. Now, where I thought this was going to go is like, oh shit. Well, the next scene immediately after that, she shows up to the restaurant for the dinner for the honor society celebration. She's there, and Karen's not happy.
Yeah, real cunty about it too. Let's like she shows up. They're moving Michael Myers. You know, she grabs the wine and she starts drinking it. And I'm like, let's calm down with that shit though. Like, I don't want H2O again. I don't want her to be drinking a fucking flask every 5 seconds. Like, I know she's scared. I know she's got the PTSD, but you know, settle the fuck down. And I think that's about it for that aspect.
For the drinking?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
But it's funny. She grabs the wine and it gets a laugh in the theater both times. And
I did not laugh. I did not laugh because I thought, here's a woman who just possibly killed a bus driver.
Oh, you know, like, you're thinking that way.
I'm thinking like she went there to kill him and it went all awry and he escaped, or like she accidentally shot the wrong person. So like her chugging that made perfect sense to me. And then in that moment.
Yeah, it's so special, whether it's Star Wars or whatever movie you're looking forward to. You only get to see it that first time once.
Yes.
And it's such an experience as you try to put it all together and your mind's doing crazy fun shit. So Laurie Strode shows up. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, I was smart in high school too. And I'm going to sit down and, oh yeah, no, I'm here for you. I love, all this kind of stuff. And Karen's being a fucking bitch. And Laurie, breaks down. She's like, I saw him. I wanted to fucking kill him. I couldn't. She loses it. And we get, and then of course the ghetto guys are having a blast at that. So it's so hilarious. And she goes out and it's very, it slows down. And once again, you get to see, what's happened to Laurie Strode over these years.
And as cunty as Karen is, at the end of that scene, it felt very realistic. It felt like this is still her mom. It wasn't like a big dramatic scene where she's like, don't ever talk to me or my daughter again. Like, I was waiting for that, and it was just a very like, okay, mom. God, she's fucking crazy. Like, it wasn't
it wasn't appropriate. Because she's just like, I fucking saw him. And she's just like, will you settle down? It's just like, now you're the one that's at a 10 and she was only at a 5. That's not appropriate. But yeah, so they have their little family moment, and it's the night that they're moving Michael. We cut to 2 new characters, I believe. A father, in his pickup truck with his kid. They're gonna go hunting. Kid doesn't want to go hunting. He's into dance class. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I liked
that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, the kid had the weirdest little froggy voice,
didn't he?
Yeah, I was like,
I just like to dance sometimes. I don't want to go kill things in the woods.
I'll do it on the weekends, Dad. I love you, but I love dancing too. It's so fucking weird.
Before this, we got our second little taste of the callback that you were hoping for. You're like, I want a little nugget, a little callback from the original. Lonnie. They talk about Lonnie a couple different times. Oh, I went to school with Lonnie. That guy's nuts.
Peyote.
Lonnie.
Yeah.
Lonnie, get your ass away from there. Hey, Lonnie. That's Lonnie. That's Lonnie. As soon as he said it in the kitchen when he got shit all over his dick or whatever happened, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's Lonnie.
Jim,
Lonnie,
I did
get
not.
Your ass away from there.
I did not put that together, and it's embarrassing for me.
Yeah, her boyfriend's dad
excited.
is fucking Lonnie.
That's so. Oh, that Lonnie's kid. That's that's so good. It's unnecessary, but it's a small dick. It all makes sense. It's not out of the realm. Good shit. That is fantastic. So we get I just like to dance, Dad. And he's like, well, all right, just trying to make you not a queer. They don't go that far with it.
No, they don't.
But and Dad, watch out. And this is what we get from the trailer, where the lunatics are in the street. The bus is in the ditch. Player 2 has entered the game.
Yeah, he has. This is the second time I was wrong about a prediction.
And we get a nice little scene where he's like, you call the cops, I'm gonna go see what's going on. And I'm just like, yeah, we're in a horror movie. I love it.
Yeah.
And they do it in an okay way. We're just like, you all right, buddy? And like they have guns and stuff. So I'm like, I'd be a little more brave if I had a fucking gun too. And suddenly, like the dad's kind of out of sight. We don't really hear from him again. And these kids talking to the cops. He's like, yeah, I'll go see. Lord knows what they fucking said. You should go see what those nuts are doing. And the kid goes out, and it's real kind of foggy, and he's got his hunting rifle, and Dad, and it gets scarier and scarier.
Yep.
And
they build the tension.
Can't find his fucking dad, and he goes to look in the bus. He hears a noise in the bus, I think. And in the trailer, I thought it was a cop boarding the bus. There's a little fucking boy. I think I need to get my eyes examined.
Well, before that happened, he comes upon the guard who's bleeding out.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, what does he say? Something like run or call.
Yeah, the kid's just like, because the cop looks dead. The guard looks dead. So he pokes him with the gun, and he's like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, so shit, stay right there. I'm going to get my dad. You'll be all right. And the cop's just like, nah.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that. You need to get out of here, kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the kid runs back. He goes to the bus, and he boards the bus. And at this point, we've all seen this bus scene, in the trailer. Somebody goes on the bus, and I'm like, here we go. Michael gonna grab him. What are we gonna get? He gets on the bus, looks around, real kind of spooky, and fucking Dr. Sartain, steps up, just like, don't shoot. Boom, gets shot.
Yep.
Kid shoots shit out.
You're like, oh fuck, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean the kid got spooked, gave him a boom. I think the kid says fuck, and Dr. Sartain says fuck, and it made me laugh.
Kid panics.
And the kid panicked. The kid bails. He's like, all right, daddy, no. Okay, fine. Back to the car. Gets in the driver's seat. Fires it up. As soon as he fires it up, you get into a car in a Halloween movie. I'm sorry. Yeah, your fate's already been written. And I was wondering about this, Jim. We talked about this.
Very important scene.
I said, that kid needs to die. If they're going to play for keeps, if they love it as much as they say, and they're going to go so hard, that kid needs to die.
You said that.
Michael Myers.
And I agreed with you that he needed to die. But what did I say? I said, they're not going to. Here's how it's going to play out. Dad gets out. Dad doesn't come back. Kid gets out. Michael steals the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so here's where I thought in the movie, I'm like, okay, I'm wrong so far. Kid got out, looking around. Hasn't seen Dad yet. So I'm like, okay, here's what's going to happen, though. Kid's going to go towards the car. Lights come on, and he's going to speed away and almost hit him, and he's gone. Kid gets in the car, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, fires it up. As soon as he's about to put it in drive, we get the little sting. Michael Myers in the back seat, grabs the kid by the head, gives him a couple slams against the glass. He's a little kid. Michael Myers is huge. Then he just kind of breaks his neck. Then that kid, the first on-screen death for Michael Myers in this movie, he kills a child.
He kills a child, and people were audibly in the theater. People were like, "Oh no, oh no." They thought they were safe. They thought they were fucking safe going into this movie. And they were not fucking safe, Dale. And that made everybody shit their pants right there. They're like, no.
It also sets things up for the rest of the way because we've just established a lot. He's out.
We did.
He's still stealth man. He will kill a child.
They made everyone's stomachs turn with another scene because of that scene. It was an important setup.
So Michael Myers is loose. He's got this truck. He's still in his fucking gown, you know. There's probably a fucking Karen scene or a Lori scene in between here, but we go back to the podcasters who are still in town, and they're at a gas station.
A filling station.
It looked a lot like the one from was it 5? 4?
4. There was a lot that looked a lot like 4 in this movie.
Yeah, even like somebody said, even like there's an ice box in front of it, just like in 4. Like I don't have a side by side in front of me right now, but I'm like,
I don't.
Good job, fellas.
I got a side by side of 4 running in my brain.
And so the man podcaster is kind of chilling by the car, filling up. She's like, I'm going to go in and go to the bathroom, you know? So the guy's like, yeah, it's around back and shit. And we stay with the guy for a second, you know, as he's looking at some other weirdo, some older lady in a car, and he gives her the peace sign, just trying to be social and likable. And it just comes off as weird. But meanwhile, in the background, we see that truck where that kid got killed. And we see just a out of focus tall man in a gown just walking by while this motherfucker's giving a little peace sign. We see Michael fucking Myers walking into the garage portion of this filling station. And I said, oh yeah, okay. So she goes in and she says, like, I need to use the loo. Oh, I'm sorry, the bathroom. Meanwhile, behind the glass, we see Michael Myers out of focus, beating the shit out of a man to death, just overhand punches. And like, we know that we're caught up as far as trailer stuff goes where we're at. She's going to the bathroom. And Jim, if you want to do the bathroom scene,
it's the second time I was wrong. Well, third time I was wrong. I said, ooh, Dale, I bet I know what happens. There's a hammer. We don't see the dude. Yeah. We don't see the dude. That's his teeth. He gets his face smashed in with a hammer, and that's his teeth. Wrong. She's in the bathroom, and this is a perfect combination of what 4 should have been and how they pussied out in H2O. She's in the bathroom, much like H2O. There's a female in the bathroom. Oh, we see feet. Oh, it's like H2O, and she's safe in that movie. Here's why it's terrifying. This isn't like a false, like, oh, it's somebody else's feet. We are 100% sure. When you see those feet, you fucking know it's Michael Myers' feet. She has no idea. And she's not scared because it's the broad daylight and there's other people at a gas. She has no reason to be afraid.
Well, here's what I loved about this scene. And if I asked you to predict what Dale would love about this scene, you'd never guess it. It's very simple. I'm just a big fan of setups and payoffs. And she goes in, and they set up with humor, and they pay off with horror. She goes in, and she's a proper dame. She grabs tissues, and she opens the first stall. Stall number 1, gross.
Yep.
Stall number 2, still kind of gross. Stall number 3, this is where I'm going to do my business. So we've seen her open 1, 2, 3. So she starts doing her business. Door opens. Michael Myers' feet. Creepy, slow. What's he do? Stall number 1. Nobody in there. A couple steps. Stall number 2. Nobody in there. Couple steps. Stall number 3. Here we go. Cause we've established there's 3. So we know the layout. We know how this works and what's gonna happen. And he jiggles the things. There's somebody in here, and he stops. And she's like, Jesus, people. And then of course we get the teeth, and she realizes it's teeth, and then boom, he really starts opening it. And good on her. You know, I was going hard at the other ladies for the maybe not so good acting. This chick, she does Terrified very well. Good screamer.
Yes.
Yeah, just petrified. Just, help me, Corey. All this kind of stuff, and she's trying to keep him from getting in, which probably wasn't going to work out too much longer for her.
Nope.
And this is cool. Corey shows up. And I was like, I'm always interested in when the killer's outnumbered in a way. And I'm like, all right, what do we got here? Michael, and because he's just seen the dead body in the garage.
Yep.
He's just seen the dead clerk behind the counter. So he's got a crowbar. And he goes into that bathroom and he sees Michael, and he says just that. Michael. And he fucking bam cracks him in the fucking face with a crowbar. And Michael Myers is just like, all right. And they begin to fight. And that fight doesn't last too long.
No, it does not.
She's just terrified. She reaches for the crowbar. It doesn't matter. He's dead in the corner. He picks her up, gives her a little strangle job, and I believe that's the end of the podcast for them.
She smacked her head on the toilet, crawling under. Before that,
yeah,
this is when I know this movie is for real. Okay, he's killed the little kid, right? I'm like, holy shit. This scene happens. He's not H2O Michael Myers cat burglar like, yoink, I took your keys, bye, I got something to do in California. He's just like, oh, wow, someone's in here, right? I can tell someone's in here. I'm going to kill her because I kill. I want to kill her.
Yeah.
And he kills her. And he kills the dude. And it makes sense that the dude knows it's Michael because he's seen him. Like, it's not a thing where, like, no one's seen his face. They just do that for our pleasure.
Yeah. I have a feeling his picture was in the paper quite a bit.
Yeah, so the guy sees him and knows it's Michael, and it's fucking terrifying. He kills this guy in a very visceral way. It's not like an over-the-top Tom Savini Friday the 13th way. It's a very brutal, real, just like, oh, you're trying to fight me off, but I'm going to overpower you and just kill you.
Yeah. And we get a lot more of that as it goes along. And at this point, I'm in there and I'm wondering, just from like a kayfabe reason, I'm just like, yeah, he's just been brewing for 40 years. Like we saw what he did after however long he was in the 78 one. It's like now he's twice as pissed, twice as pent up rage and murderous. I love it. So yeah, but he knows this motherfucker has his mask. So he goes to their car, opens the trunk, and he gets the mask. We see him put on the mask. It's very good. And we cut almost immediately to nighttime, which nice. Very good.
There is no fat in the middle of him putting that mask on, and then he's in Haddonfield with a mask on.
Yeah. It cuts almost directly to that scene in the trailer where the little kids are talking. It's trick or treat time. It's Halloween, everybody. The little kids, and they got their silver shamrock masks on, which nice. And they bump into Michael, and he sees the lady in the garage, and it's that one take, and we get this sequence here, which is just so good. It's just so fun. It's fun to watch how they did it. It's fun to watch what the contents of it. The shadow play, this guy walking. I don't know what actor's behind the mask at this time. I want to find out what Nick Castle did. So eventually I'm going to find that out. But, he goes, this is the trailer. He walks down the driveway. The lady goes into the house. He goes in the garage, grabs the hammer. But he does this thing, and it's in the trailer, but for whatever reason, it played better with me in the theater, is he walks down the driveway, and, she goes kind of towards the house. And as soon as he gets to the corner of the house, he does one of these. Gotta see where she's at. Gotta see where she's at. As soon as he gets to that corner, he's like you would, like he's not a fucking robot. Like he's just like, all right, there she is. Gonna get that. Gonna do that. And he does. He's a fucking lefty. Grabs that hammer. We see him go in the house and go into the kitchen. He does the turn. Sees her. Yep. Now in the trailer, I think we talked about it. Lord knows I've complained about it to other people, but the sound effect that they used in the trailer was the stupidest cartoony sound I've ever heard. Where it's just like splat. It was like some Looney Tunes shit. Oh, I can't believe I didn't complain to you about it. Fucking retarded. I had a feeling that they had to do that because it was going to be very gross in the movie. And the sound of him beating this woman to death with a hammer. Very gross. Was brutal.
Nod to 2 here. This is a good nod to 2. She's got the bathrobe on, the curlers in her hair. Mrs. Elrod, except she's not like, there's blood on my... He just fucking murders her. Yeah. He just murders her. And then he's like, oh, well, yeah, I like these. I'm going to take this one instead. And he grabs the kitchen knife.
Yeah, because, okay.
He just drops it. Bling. Oh, knife. I'll take that.
They do this in an excellent way. Knife introductions and knife transitions, because there's going to be times where he's going to use a knife in a way where the knife is no longer an option for him, so he needs another knife, and they set it up. They set it up so it all makes sense. It's established beforehand, and I love it. So he kills her, leaves. I think it's either one take or they fake it very well. Right out the front door, back, and we see all the kids again. We see the city, this living, breathing Haddonfield, and he turns and he's going down the sidewalk. Michael Myers is walking down the sidewalk of Haddonfield with like 50 fucking people, and I'm just like, what's going on?
He's
like,
right there.
Like, what's going on?
What this movie does, dare I say, better than any other Halloween, what this movie does is let you see him hunt without. We see a lot more through his perspective. I don't mean literally like through his eyes, but we see a lot more of him just like, I like this. Oh, there she is. I'm going to kill her because I love it. Oh, I want this. I want to stab people. Where should I go next? Oh, I'm going to kill her. We get a lot of that. It's not like, what's that back there in the shadows? We get to see him just on the hunt, just fucking like a lion, and there's just cows he's just like, there's all these cows. Like the T-Rex, like there's goats everywhere. Oh, I'm going to eat this goat. I'm going to eat that goat.
Yeah, big fan of that. It wasn't, I mean, I'm greedy. I would have loved a lot more of that, but they probably picked a good amount of just that.
And it wasn't wooden. It wasn't like Halloween 2, like mechanical, dead end. It was like very fluid, very like, oh, I'm going to turn over here. Oh, it's over here. Oh, I'm going to go kill this person.
Yeah.
Just the mechanics of it were just scary in such a beautiful way.
Now, just a quick backtrack here. Unfortunately, the trailer kind of ruins a moment. Like we said, we've seen him kill a kid. I killed a kid. And it would have played better not knowing this was in the trailer, because we see in the trailer the two kids bump into Michael. Now, if we didn't know that those kids get away scot-free, that probably would have fucked with us a little bit more, because it's like, no, he'll kill a kid. Kids, you need to move, because he's done it before.
You don't know why. You don't know who he's going to kill or why. It's almost like he doesn't know who he's going to kill and why.
Well, that's my question, because so he leaves the first house and he turns down the sidewalk, and we see a couple leaving their house. They're going to a Halloween party. She's in like a sexy nurse outfit, real banging broad. She sees Michael and she's like, well, that's kind of weird and fucked up. Keeps her distance, gets in the car.
What kind of sick fuck is going to dress up like this guy in Halloween? That's rude.
And the guy's like, oh, I forgot my stethoscope. So she's alone for a second near him, and you're wondering, and you're like,
yeah.
And at this point, I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm assuming the end game is Laurie Strode. Nobody's said this, but I assume that's what's happening. And they're getting into a car to go to a party, and I'm like, I think he wants the car so he can go to Laurie Strode's house. I'm assuming that's the plan, and that's what they were setting up. But the guy shows up, and
what they did was even more beautiful in the end.
So they leave. So at this point, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I really do think he wanted the car, but they drive off. So he's just like, there's a house. And he just fucking turns and he goes up the stairs. And this is another one that's in the trailer where the lady's alone in the house. And she's just like, yeah, he's going to be back at 10 and fucking Halloween. And, and he's looking through the window. We get that shot, and then he's just like, all right. And he goes around the side, and we see the shadow on the wall, and it's all very good.
Which is way better than it is in the trailer.
Yes.
It's a slower build. We see her through the inside. She looks outside. He's not there anymore. We can tell that's him walking down the alleyway, going around the house.
Yeah, and this is probably my favorite kill, because like they've been showing some balls so far. You killed a kid, but so far it's a lot of banging heads and strangulation and
off-screen hammering.
And I've got the bloodlust now, and it's we see it in the trailer where she comes back into the living room and she lowers the blinds and she's looking out, but nobody's out there, but he's behind you, and we see him walk up behind her, and this is where we don't see this in the trailer for obvious reasons, because he grabs her by the hair. Pulls her back. She lets out a scream. And I'm thinking, maybe a fucking titty stab, maybe we get
Little
an old
throat slit.
throat slit. He pulls her hair back, and he takes that butcher knife and he just jams it through the back of her fucking neck, and it comes out, and it looks so clean. It's obviously CGI stuff, but it looks so good.
After he smashes her face on the couch or the windowsill or whatever that is first,
he gives her a couple whacks.
Now, here's what they set up beautifully, okay? She says he won't be back till 10. She dies. We hear the baby crying. So we know nobody is in that fucking house that can get in the way. Because if it was just her and the baby, you're expecting she's going to dive on the baby, something, right? She's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Dude that she's talking to or about is not there. And this baby's in the crib. And at this point, he's killed a fucking kid. And everyone in the theater lost their fucking shit when they heard that baby cry. They lost their shit. My wife's stomach was turning. I thought she was going to vomit.
Here's what they did so perfectly. It's not like comedy. You don't talk over your laughs and things like that. They didn't layer it. When Michael's looking through the window and she's on the phone, I don't like blah, blah, blah. We don't hear the baby. We don't know about a baby. The first time we know about a baby is after the audience is done applauding or screaming after the neck thing. So it's like, whoa, she got stabbed in the neck, and we start to hear baby cry. That's when we start to hear it. So now this has happened. Now we're moving on to this. Now he's like, this is a murder sequence, and it's like now we've potentially just heard our third victim, and they fucking did such a fun, good job.
Yes.
And he walks in and he turns down towards the front door, and we see the crib in the distance. So he's walking towards it. He has to walk towards it to leave, and we're all wondering.
Yeah, we are.
Is he gonna stop? Is he gonna stop? He does stop, and he gives it a look, but he does not kill the baby, and I'm wondering why. And I'm thinking it's not in his way. I think that's really the only reason.
I think the reason's even better. I think the reason is there's no method. Right? He's not killing everybody. He's not like, how many people can I kill as fast as I can? Right? Because he'd have murdered them kids. He'd have killed the lady in the car. Like, he'd have gotten a lot of people. There's no method. You don't know. You don't know why. You don't know where he's going to strike. You don't know why he's going to kill who he kills. This movie pays off the first Halloween brilliantly, because it's, for all we know, Laurie and her friends may have been fine if Annie didn't say speed kills. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I'll kill them.
It's like, oh, am I speed? I'm speed. Yeah. All right. I'm going to kill.
He's like, oh, them. Yeah, I'll kill them.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to look at it.
Like, he doesn't even know. Like, I look at it like a satiation, like a hunger. And he's like, I'm not hungry right this second. I just killed another lady.
I just got one. I just got one. And I think he leaves. And I'm sure we cut to more of the fucking Strodes. Laurie's patrolling the streets. I think at this point, the news is out. There's been a bus crash. So she's like,
the sheriff, what's his name? Hawkins?
Yeah, Officer Hawkins, which surprised me because the motherfucker's like 80 years old. But when he goes into the house later, he's like, it's Officer Hawkins. And I'm just like, damn, you need a promotion, bro.
And he works for the sheriff's department. They're usually, I don't know. They usually don't identify themselves as officer like that. But
yeah,
whatever. So he's seen the murder scene, the escape scene at this point. Okay, he's seen all the carnage. He was there. I think at this point we know he's mentioned it, that he was there that night. We don't know his role, but that he remembers when it happened.
Yeah.
And they're taking it seriously. It's very Halloween 4. It's very like all hands on deck. He's loose in the town. It's not like, oh, huh? What? That was so long ago. I don't believe you that he's escaped. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was something that you wanted from the movie in general. It's like, we just like go look for him, like get at him. But they are trying.
Yeah, they do.
At one point, they certainly do.
When this is grounded in reality, it's so much better because there's no way there's a murderer who's murdered in this town and he's on the loose and everyone's just like, hogwash. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, they would know and they would want to find this motherfucker. And they did.
So at this point, you know, these side characters do have their thing. We've got the officer who was there, and you know he's on the case, and the Strodes are doing their thing. The granddaughter's at the dance with her boyfriend, Bonnie and Clyde gender bender thing, and that's cute. But oh, is he cheating on her? All this kind of shit. And I'm like, if you motherfuckers spend one more minute in this goddamn scene, I'm gonna throw popcorn into my mouth.
Seems like a really long way to write her phone getting destroyed.
Yeah, well, and what I didn't like about that is because he's drunk and he's just like, her phone rings. He's just like, oh, your precious phone. And he throws into the fucking juice. the fucking
like
juice.
all teen, like she's unique. Like,
yeah,
you're the only one addicted to your phone in this town.
Yeah, I would have loved it. It's like, if that's your line, get that phone in there. Make her obsessed with the phone. Have the dude have a line that's just like, yeah, maybe you'll spend some time talking to me and not so much on Instagram this time. Something to let, you know, so he would have that line was bullshit. That line was just kind of bullshit.
Or
we all know
have them have the little argument, and then he's talking to her about it, and then she goes to her phone to call someone, and he just like grabs it and throws it because he's drunk. Don't just be like, oh, your precious phone, the thing you love so much, it's dipped in cheese.
Yeah. I mean,
have them break it or something, you know? They're fighting.
Or it's just like, you know, I am gonna focus on you. I'm gonna turn it off. There's a million ways to do it that might be a little bit better than your precious phone is in the cheese. That's so fun.
It's fondue now, bitch.
Yeah. So that's happening. Lori's like, Karen, we got to find Allison. We, get to my house because it's the safest place in the world, apparently. So the Strodes are losing their fucking mind.
We see Karen's world crashing down. Like, oh my fucking God, this crazy mom of mine was right. It's a very Sarah Connor, John Connor moment of like, what? You were right? He's going to come back and eventually, and we're prepared, and now we're going to your crazy house because it is the safest place?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is the part.
Actually, before this happens.
Okay. Before
this happens, we get the closet scene.
Yeah, I was just about to go into Julian, and Vicky's the girl's name. Mm-hmm. This is good stuff because we've met Vicky and the stoner boyfriend. And now this is their section of the movie, and it's a very good section of the movie.
Yes, it is.
She's babysitting Julian, little boy. He's hilarious. They have good banter. And they do, and that exists to get you to care a little bit about this person who's going to die. Obviously, slasher movies, they're usually pieces of shit, and we're like, yeah, kill him. He almost date raped that fucking chick. Mm-hmm. But this is like, oh, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah, she's funny.
Even the boyfriend, who's just, all things considered, like when she hears a noise upstairs, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. He's not a dick about it. He's not like, but babe, I got a rockin' chubby. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. So even he's not too bad.
And the kid, even like the kid and her are arguing at one point, but then she tucks him in. He's like, you're my favorite. And she's like, you're my favorite. It's kind of sweet, even though they're talking shit to each other.
It's good doing kid dialogue, man. It's so hard.
He's funny as fuck.
He was very good.
Good lines for him. Yeah. I think this makes sense too, because I think that's just the next house. Like, he's not hunting down all of Allison's friends. He's just in that area.
Yeah, I'm unsure about that, but I'd like to think that is the case. Because like I said, I'm in my head, in my kayfabe reasoning, I think he's looking for car keys. I'm thinking he's looking for, but which he never gets until a car is pretty much gifted to him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does. It's Halloween night, and he's got to kill a babysitter, and we get it here. So the boyfriend shows up to smoke weed with the girl. They're fooling around on the couch. Julian comes downstairs and says, "It's a fucking weird guy. I heard him breathing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I hear that Michael Myers breathing. It's probably scared the shit out of me too." He's blah, blah, blah. His face is all fucked up. And she's like, "Fine, I'll go." He's like, "No, send Dave."
Yeah.
That kid's so fucking good. It's like, "No, I like you."
But she
Send
goes
him.
up.
She goes up. And she does a little fake thing, pretends there's somebody in there to give him a little scare, but she's like, "Nah, nobody's in there." She
And what's great about that is because at this point we know, oh, this is the part in the trailer where he's in the closet. So is it now? Oh, it's not now. So
it's now.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's because she tucks him back in, you know, and he's like, "All right, could you close the closet for me? Can you close the closet?" Because we've established already that he's got night lights and stuff. He's scared of the dark a little bit, it seems. So he's like, "Close that for me." She's like, "You got a little." And it's the scene. Close it once. No. Close it twice. What the fuck is wrong with this door? Michael Myers stabs the shit out of her. Meanwhile, Dave was out fucking with the motorcycle for some reason.
Yep. He went outside to smoke.
I think that was just a falsie, like a little red herring scary moment, because he's out there smoking and he's doing this look.
And he's like, "Oh,
like
man."
that. And it's like, oh, he sees Michael. He sees something. And then we see him walk over there and it's like, oh, he's dead. And it's like, no, not at all. He's actually in the house already.
And like from his reaction, like, does he see a dead body? Like, what does he see? He's just like, man.
Yeah. So he, he fucks up the motorcycle and he hears her screaming because she's being stabbed and like dragged in the hall. And he's like, "Oh shit." And he walks in the house and Julian's just like, You're gonna fucking die, Dave." And he grabs the knife. He's like, "Fuck it." And he grabs the knife. Because when he said "fuck it," I was like, "Oh, he's gonna bail." But he didn't. He said "fuck it," and he grabbed the knife and he went in.
Big ass knife.
To be a hero. And that knife, it's gonna be very important because we're gonna get a bit of a transition as far as the knife game goes. And that's really the end of that for now, because we go back to Laurie, we go back to the not sheriff, the Officer Hawkins, and it's like, we've got a domestic blah 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 at the location. So now the cop is here. The guy that was there that night so many years ago, he's back. And he goes in and it's very creepy and tense, and Michael could be behind any corner here, and he sees blood and he sees this, and he goes upstairs, and it's that shot from the trailer where there's a sheet over somebody, and we're all wondering, is it a dead body or is it Michael? Let's find out. Dead body. It's the girl. It's Vicky. Laurie shows up because she's got a scanner. She's outside and she looks up and she sees Officer Hawkins looking at the dead body, and then we do a nice little pan move, couple windows over, and Michael Myers in the window. He's looking down at her, and without missing a fucking beat, she takes that pistol, aims it, bam, right in the fucking face. Unfortunately, it was the reflection from the mirror, and she shoots the mirror in the face.
But if that was him, he donezo. She nailed that shot. And it was great because you were wondering in the trailer, is she hallucinating that? Because he gets shot, but nothing. It's like it goes right through him. He disappears. Isn't that weird? Well, he disappears because a mirror shattered. But then Hawkins sees him.
Michael Myers just walks by the door to go downstairs.
He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. Michael Myers doesn't care. He's murdering people.
And he's just like, Michael. He takes the two worst shots and unnecessary shots I've ever seen, and he goes back downstairs because Michael's fucking here. Like he's not down the street. He's literally right here. Yeah. So he's this corner. We see Dave has been stabbed against the wall, and he's hanging there. That's where the knife is. But he has another knife, courtesy of Dave. So we get that, which I appreciate very much. Go outside. Oh, we don't go outside yet because outside, Laurie's there. And she's chasing, him too, and she sees him, and she just fucking shoots him like right in the shoulder. Just, and he stumbles, behind the house, and the cop comes out, and they fucking hit each other, and that's a scary moment. But unfortunately, Michael Myers has escaped their grasp.
And this is when we know you could tell Hawkins kind of knew, because we don't know how far away the bus crashed. So all the cops are there. They're on the scene. They know here's the patient log. Here's who we're still missing. Michael Myers is one of them. And Hawkins is probably thinking, fuck, he's probably going back to Haddonfield. But we don't know yet. But now Hawkins knows, and it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
There's lights and sirens everywhere. They're blockading shit off, and they bring in Dr. Sartain, and he meets Laurie.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but
We're pretty close.
Sort of are. We are with them. So yeah, we'll say Dr. Sartain shows up because I want to talk about the other kid being killed by Michael because that's really good. But Dr. Sartain is brought there, and she gets to meet Dr. Sartain, and he's like, "Oh, I worked with Michael for the last 20 years." And what does she say?
She says, "Oh, you're the new Loomis," which is what we were thinking when we met him in the beginning of the movie. We all thought, "Oh, you're the new Loomis," and she fucking said what was in our mind.
Yeah.
"Oh, you're the new Loomis," which was I like that line.
I go back and forth on it, but it's not bad. I wonder from the kayfabe logic that they have in their movie of Laurie Strode having this mental breakdown. This is where we learn Officer Hawkins was there that night. He's the one that stopped Dr. Loomis from killing Michael.
Because Dr. Loomis had already shot him 6 times. He's probably walking down what we don't see. He's walking down the stairs, reloading his gun like, "Oh, I'm going to get this motherfucker. I got 6 more, Michael. I brought a whole pocket full of bullets."
Now, a small issue that I have.
Wait, one thing. We didn't talk about this. We were worried about the sound-alike / look-alike casting of Dr.
Yes.
Loomis. The Donald Pleasance sound-alike was a tape recording we heard earlier, and the court is asking for his recommendation, and he says, "Extermination. We have to kill him."
Yeah.
It's very important. That comes home, and it's hammered home, and he says, "Extermination. He's got to be killed." And Sartain has been studying him all these years, and I just want to get to know him better. So,
but the kayfabe reason, because with Laurie Strode and Officer Hawkins, because they bump into each other at the house, and they're like, "Fucking Jeff," and it's like, "Laurie, he's back," and he's like, "I know," and all this kind of shit. And they're like, they have history. They're kind of buddy in a way. Why doesn't she hate him? He stopped Dr. Loomis from killing Michael Myers. I would be very upset with this man.
I don't think she hates him, because I think she probably feels sorry for him, because she probably knows he probably at this point had wished he'd have let him do it. So I think a couple reasons. She wants to kill Michael. Also, he was just doing his job. Like, you can't just let somebody get murdered. So I think she knows why he didn't.
I would have liked something there.
But I don't think
Laurie,
she just
Laurie, I regret it every day. I know, Jim. I know.
She built up this need to kill him. She wants to kill him. So I think at this point, she's fine with it. She wants to do it. I want to fucking kill this guy. Yeah. I'm going to hunt this guy.
Quick aside, real quick. I'm going to put up a couple visuals on the screen for you, Jim. These are from, I believe, the trailers, a couple shots that I don't think were in the movie. Here's the first one.
It's possible.
It's Hawkins getting ready to go in before he finds Vicky under the sheet. This shot's not in there, right? I don't remember
with the
that.
shape in the background. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Here's another one. It's going to be Laurie Strode outside, seemingly battling Michael Myers. Now, I think all of their interactions physically were inside the house. I might be wrong, but I don't think this was in the movie.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, because this is very clearly outside in her yard with the lights, the big floodlights on. She's got a knife. Yeah. He's standing there. None of that. That was not in there. Okay. I was waiting for it too. It was not there.
Now, we know they changed the ending, and obviously we will get to the ending. All right, back to the slideshow. Yeah, so we meet the new Loomis, and it's oh, you piece of shit. Oh, I hate that. That's fine. So we meet the new this is the part where we go back to the goddamn Strodes, and we're looking for Allison. We're looking for Allison. Now, what they've done with Allison, I'm a big fan of. Karen Strode, no. Allison Strode, yes, because they talk about trauma. They talk about what impact this has on people, and I'm sure we'll bring up Halloween 4 maybe at the end of it. This girl is about to go through hell, and it begins right about now.
Mm-hmm.
She leaves the dance. Her boyfriend's a cheating piece of shit. She's going with like their neutral friend.
Chubby,
the fat
cute friend. Mm-hmm.
Sure, funny guy. And he's drunk. He's like, "Oh, you deserve better. You're so nice, Allison." And we're like, "Oh, we know where this is." I know a
They
shortcut.
do a great job. They do a great job of letting us know where it's going to go.
Yeah, they don't take too long. He says, "I know a shortcut," and they take the shortcut. They jump over a fence, and as soon as she hops over that fence, he goes in for the kiss.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Oh, I thought no, just because not with him doesn't mean I want to be with you. You got to get your shit together. Peace out. So she jumps the fence to the other side of this like tall, fence that's dangerous to try to climb, and I wouldn't do it. She gets out, and he's stuck in there, and he's just like, "Man, I fucked up." The motion sensor light comes on, and he gets all fucking spooked. Like, "What's that?" And she's like, "Motion sensors, dumbass." She's Allison's.
Mm-hmm.
But she bails. He's like, "Man," and he, unfortunately for Oscar here, he is stuck in this backyard with Michael Myers.
Yes, he is.
Who's behind a tree, which he doesn't see at first, and we know we're gonna get another one. The motherfucker's killed like 13 people so far. We know we're gonna get another one. And the kid thinks it's the owner. He's like, "Oh, sorry, mister, whatever the fuck. Didn't mean to trespass. I'll get out of your hair." And the motion sensor light goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Motion sensor light goes back on. He's not there anymore. He's over here.
He's a wee bit closer.
He's a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid kind of gets a little scared. And it's like, "You don't have to be so fucking aggressive about it. I said, I said I'm gonna leave." The motion sensor goes off again, and I believe this is the last time.
Yes.
Motion sensor comes back on, and of course he's right there, and he stabs him, and Oscar tries to run away and climb the fence, screaming, "Allison, Allison," and Michael's like, "No, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna put your fucking head on this post like that, through your jaw, right there, out of your mouth. Yeah, that'll look nice." Just nice. And Allison's like, she hears the screaming, "Yeah," she's like, "For real?" Or, "Oh, Jesus." And she goes. He's still her friend, even though he just did this weird, awkward thing. And she goes back, and she sees the dead body, his head. Blah, he's fucking dead as hell. And I think they do a motion sensor thing there.
No,
or maybe not.
The light was on.
The light was on. He just steps from the side. Then
Yes.
it is scary.
And it's not like a stupid like pop out, jump out. And he's not like shaking the fence trying to get through it because he's not fucking an idiot.
Yeah.
He's just standing there like, "Oh, I want to kill her now, but this thing's in my way.
I gotta go through the house and kill whoever's in there."
The motion sensor gag was great because once he gets closer, we know like, ooh, the next time it goes off, he'll be in mid motion. Like that'll be what's setting it off. Is him like going in for the kill.
Mm.
And oh god, it was so good. And then he's just standing like, "Oh, I want to kill you. You're right there." It's so scary. It's so fucking scary.
And this is when one of my favorite tracks on the soundtrack kicks off. It's called "The Shape Hunts Allison." It's one of my top 3 songs on the soundtrack because it's banging. It's tense. It's good John Carpenter stuff. Loved it.
At this point, we're in mid Halloween 4 mode. Remember in Halloween 4, I think a lot of people have overlooked how similar these are. Obviously not in quality, but what happens in 4 is like, okay, this motherfucker's done this before. He ain't gonna do it again. We're locking this town down. What's dumb in 4 is somehow he kills all of the police, but anyway, in 4 they go to the sheriff's house. He's a sheriff. It's safe. They double padlock everything. We're just holding up in this house. In this movie, that's Laurie's house. The cops round everyone up that they can find. okay, Lori, Karen, you're in this house. You're safe. We're here. We're guarding you. Don't worry about it. Except the people we're most worried about aren't in that house. We got to find them. And it happened with Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4, where she's still out somewhere. We can't find Jamie. Cop car swoops up, lights and sirens. Get Jamie, get in. Everything's safe.
And what I loved about this part right here, she sees Michael behind the fence, and she just the music, and she books it, and she's looking over her shoulder, and she's running very fast, which is good. You would want to do that. And she's going up to houses and, let me in.
Scream and pound on the door.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if I would lead with that. But I think, how is it? Does she get into one of the houses?
No.
Mm-mm.
They pull up.
They just pull up. Okay.
I'm pretty sure because they're out looking for her. Just like in 4. They're out looking for her. Her family's gone. They pull up. And she gets in the car. Hawkins finds her.
Well, fucking Wikipedia. That's why you can't trust it. It says Allison is chased before finding refuge in a neighboring home. You can't trust.
Does she get in?
Anybody.
Does she get in the neighbor's house?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, maybe she does. Maybe she does, and they pick her up at the house. They come pick her up at the house once they know where she is. Maybe. I don't remember. I remember thinking this is going to be a nod to the first one where no one will let her in. She's trying to get away from Michael, like Lori was. And that's not what ended up happening. She ended up getting safety. And then Hawkins finds her.
So by this point in the movie, I'm like spent.
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's just bonus material. I'm like, we've done it, fellas. We're good. And and I'm like, I know there's more. This is great. So Hawkins, Dr. Sartain, Allison in the back of his car. And
Allison's with them. We're looking for him. She's seen him. She's the last one to see him. Let's go find him.
Yeah. Yeah, because this has just happened. He was just like 6 houses away. This is very close and recent. She knows what he's wearing. She know it's makes sense enough for me to have this do that. And they're looking for him, and I'm like, you're not just gonna fucking see Michael Myers walking down the goddamn sidewalk, and, And then they see Michael Myers walking down the sidewalk. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, what are we going to do here? Is he going to run him over? There's no way he's just going to, like, run him over. Oh, fuck. And he does.
He just ran him. Hold on to your butts. He just runs that motherfucker over.
He pops that curb, hits Michael Myers real good. They does it in a way where he's flat on his back, which is fine, which kind of sets you up. He's going to do the sit-up move. She's in the back seat. Hawkins like, I'm gonna blow his fucking brains out. And he's just like, no, Dr. Sartain's like, oh, Michael, god damn it. He's like, no, he checks his pulse. He's like, he's already dead. You killed him. He's like, I'm still gonna blow his fucking brains out.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure.
And then this is a very controversial part of the movie.
Is it?
And people hate it. People hate it. And I understand not being a fan of it for some reasons. I'm a fan of it for a reason that I'll get into. But yeah, it seems most people
I'm a fan
really
of it for about 100 reasons.
So Dr. Sartain's, over Michael. Hawkins is like, here's my gun. Gonna fucking splatter it all over the pavement. And we see Dr. Sartain take like a pen knife or something, and it pops open, and he turns around and he fucking cuts the throat of Officer Hawkins. Allison's in the back seat going, what the fuck was that shit? We've just seen Dr. Sartain kill Officer Hawkins. Now at this point in the theater, Jim, I was telling Mason this. I'm sitting back, it's a lounger. He does that, and I do this. I just sit up, and I probably look like such a fucking weirdo. But I was like, because there was one thought going through my mind, because at this point we're seeing it for the first time, so we're booking it in our heads. Like, where's this gonna go?
The number, you're crunching, you're doing the fucking sabermetrics. You're like, does this mean that all along? What does this mean?
I was like, who's he with? Is he the third man?
Is he the third man?
Woo. Did that go through your mind at all?
Is he the third man?
Is Thorne? I thought that they were going to pull the trigger on one of the craziest twists.
I didn't think literally Thorne, the Thing, and the cult and all that, but I thought are they about to bust this wide open? You know, like, is there way more than what I think's going on?
Yeah, something underneath, something more. Because somebody killing for Michael Myers, no, there's no reason to do that unless XYZ. And the only XYZ that went through my mind was, I know some people who might want to do that. Is that what's happening right now? Is that what you just did, Kenny Powers?
I didn't think Thorne, but I thought, how big is this? How big does this get now?
Unfortunately, it's not that. It wasn't that. At that point, anything other than that was going to be a disappointment to me because I'm like the only person that finds Thorne acceptable. The execution they did was terrible, but I love the idea of it. He says it earlier. I want to know what it feels like. I want to know what goes through his head when he's killing. And this man's clearly unhinged. We're seeing it firsthand now.
Gets down in Michael's knocked out, unconscious face, and so that's what it feels like, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, because he just killed for the first time.
Yeah, and we focus on Allison, who's stuck in the back seat of a cop car because that's how they work. And we're looking through the windshield, and she's like, and up pops, boom, Michael Myers. No, it's not. It's Dr. Sartain wearing Michael Myers' mask. And at this point, crazy. I don't know what's going on.
No.
I know he's crazy, but I was just like, as far as the direction of where we're going.
Right.
Couldn't guess in a million years. Couldn't guess.
And then I'm like, well, this can't get any more tense. I'm like, here's where I jump to conclusions. Michael snaps out of it, kills Sartain, gets in the front seat to drive to find Laurie. But it gets even more tense and bizarre.
Yeah, he drags Michael over to the car, pops it open. And this is so unbelievable because he's such a small old man. Michael Myers is huge, and he just got fucking shot in the shoulder, but whatever, it's a movie. He picks up Michael Myers, and he puts Michael Myers in the back seat with Allison. Right. And here's the mask, too.
In between them. Oh, my God.
Now, like I said, Allison's about to go through a bad night. She just watched Oscar, her friend, just now she's in the back. She's heard about Michael Myers her whole fucking life.
Yes.
You never have to be afraid about it. Get over Michael, grandmother. Well, now he's fucking right. That's
he's
nightmare.
Next to you.
That's nightmare fuel.
And he's next to you in a prison on wheels. You're locked in a cell essentially with Michael Myers. He's going to get thirsty, and you're the closest thing he can kill.
So we obviously put together when he checked the pulse and said he's dead. He's not dead. He's lying. He's obviously a very crazy Dr. Sartain.
Well, here's the thing. I knew something. I was like, oh, fuck. When he says, no, he's dead, I immediately panicked. And I knew some shit was about. I didn't know he was going to kill Hawkins, but I'm like, I've seen the trailers. He's not dead. And Sartain's not an idiot, and this isn't part 4 or part 5, whatever. This is not. He's not breathing.
Or they were gonna Friday the 13th 5 you, and be like, Roy is now Michael Myers for the rest of it.
Who knows? A part of what ran through my head is like, oh shit, Earl, you killed Ted Hollister. Like, was this just a lookalike? Because that seemed too easy, and then it got way crazier.
That was my thought too, that they were going to do a little homage to like nabbing the wrong guy, or in this case, guy.
Ben Tramer gets slammed by a car and set on fire.
So Sartain's driving. Allison's stuck in the back with Michael Myers, who's alive but kind of out of it. He's just got ran over, and he's like 80. Give him a break. And we get some exposition from Dr. Sartain, a little bit about maybe why he's so fucking crazy and obsessed. I tried to get him to talk. We go back to this talking things. Could never do it. It's just like it's one of my goals is to get into his mind, to hear from his own lips what's going on there. And she says, "Oh, I heard him talk when he killed my friend. He spoke to me. He said one word, and he's just like, what? What is it?" And it's a bit of a dumb money, Mark move, but he's obsessed. He's crazy. It's fine.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought this guy's nuts. He just murdered a man in cold blood. He would buy that for that second. He wouldn't be able to resist.
Yeah. She's like, if you let me out, I'll tell you. And at this point, I'm wondering if this is true. What he did say, what he said, is he going to speak before this is over? Because that's running through my mind a couple times now. Because I'm like, they keep going to this talking thing, Dale. I have a feeling that we might get a line or two. But when she said one word, I was like, I can live with Michael Myers saying one word in a Halloween film if it's a good word in a good moment. That's just where my mindset was at the time. So she says, if you let me out, I'll tell you. And he's just like, yeah, probably not that. But what was it? Just I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Just tell me what it was. What was it? The sister's name? Was it Judith?
Mm-hmm.
And when he says Judith, his fingers start to move a little bit, and he's fucking back. And she's having her back and forth with Sartain. She looks over, and Michael Myers has the mask back on. It wasn't on a second ago.
No, she sort of. I believe they show the empty spot on the seat, where you're like, oh fuck, why isn't it there anymore?
So yeah, she looks, boom, he's back. He's not knocked out anymore, and he kicks through the cage, and he fucking smashes Sartain. I guess to death.
Mm-mm.
Is that what happens there?
No,
yeah,
Sartain's crawling on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're almost at Laurie's house. That's what this is all about. I'm bringing him to finish this. Maybe do a little talk and walk with me. Whatever his crazy mind was saying. So they're on a road, it's a dirt road. But he stops, like, tell me what the fuck he said. Was it Judith? Boom. So he's fucked up. He's crawling out like, Jesus, Michael, no. And Michael gets out, and he's standing over him. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but all I know is just like, say something, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Say something. Say something. And then he just lifts up that big old boot, and he watermelon squishes the shit out of it, and we get a nice fucking Toxic Avenger cantaloupe death. I didn't think I would see a cantaloupe head squash in a movie, in a mainstream movie, ever again. That was so good for me. Yeah,
that turned people's stomachs, not mine, but some people were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because the first Halloween sort of people are like, you remember, there's really not that much blood in it. It's not really that graphic. And this one's like, we're going to get a little graphic. Just graphic enough.
So while he's doing that, Allison starts running through the forest. We'll catch up with her a little bit later. Down that road, catching over Laurie's house, are two cops. They have some banter. They see the car because it's Hawkins' car. They're like, all right, let's go check on that because that's weird that he's
little goofy cop part 5 nod. Not over the top, but hey, what the fuck? What's going on over there?
Yeah. So they drive down there and then guns drawn because it's weird. It's a weird situation. So then they split up and they're like, oh, fuck. All right, we got dead bodies here and shit. And what they don't see is Michael Myers is behind them. We'll see what happens to them. So now we're in the house, right? Now we're in the finale.
Yeah, she escaped. Allison got out during the whole melee with Sartain. She slipped out and got out of there. And people were screaming in the theater like, why didn't you drive the car away, dummy? Like, I don't think I would have thought of that. I think my instinct would just be run as fast as you can the other direction.
I can outrun Michael Myers. I would hope to God I could outrun Michael Myers.
Yeah, and he's not going to walk after you. Like, he's just walking around killing. He'll find someone closer.
Not so much. He's, you know what? He's tired of walking.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to start. He's finally going to get that car that I thought he was after for so. Because meanwhile, Laurie and Karen, they're talking and their drama stuff, and it's really good Laurie stuff, Karen stuff, whatever. Ray, the husband, Karen's husband, comic relief guy, he's upstairs we've seen that Lori has like this safe room with like a stairway down it, and the kitchen counter moves over it with
Mhm.
this mechanism. We've seen all this cool stuff. She's got an armory down there, but he's upstairs, you know, and he sees the cop cars here. Those cops that I know are watching over, they're here. I'm gonna go see what's up because my daughter's fucking missing. So he goes and he leaves and he says, "Yeah, any news on Allison? Any
Mhm.
word?" And he goes up to the door. Anything? No. And he looks through the window and it's tinted because it's a cop car, and he sees like a jack-o'-lantern. And weird. I thought it was weird. He thought it was weird.
Mhm.
You're not opening. What the fuck's going on? He opens it and we see that it is a human head jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, with the cop flashlight rammed up through it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's just good stuff because through the tinted window, it looks like a pumpkin, and they might have even used it and then switched it when filming. But when you see what it truly is, you're like, oh, that's so fucked up. So we see both of those cops are clearly dead, which we knew was going to happen, but now we know he drove here. Little fucking scene. And then Ray's like, oh shit. And Michael comes from the side again because he's very good at walking from the side, and he strangles him. Gives him a nice strangle. He hasn't strangled in a while, so he's got to get one in there one last time. And Ray is dead. Real quick here, he's killed a lot of people. Jim, what's your guess on the kill count in this film?
Including Ray?
Oh, yeah, top to bottom.
11.
According to IMDb and WGN, 19.
Jesus Christ.
19. I tried counting the second time I saw it, and I just lost count. I just like, fuck. Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like a gratuitous 19. It feels like it it fits. It didn't feel like they were trying to pile up the bodies.
Yeah.
He's just a machine. He's a murdering.
Because we don't see the cops get killed. We don't see Dave get killed. We see their bodies. But yeah, what we see is very good. So now is the finale here, and I'm trying to think how it kicks off. How do they know? Did she just see him? She's looking around the house. She's turning off lights. Karen, what the fuck are you doing? Get downstairs.
Well, she knew. She knew that Ray ran outside. They hear the siren, and he's like, "I'm gonna go. Shut the fuck up. I'm going out there," and then she shuts she's at this point the door is shut and locked. She sees that the car is in the yard with the lights flickering, and Lori's got it locked, and Karen is downstairs.
Yeah, and according to Wiki here, it says Lori calls for Ray from inside the house and sees Michael standing outside, which is a very, very cool shot. Love that because the music accompanying it is great. And then we begin. She bolts the doors. Karen, get your ass downstairs. Slide, all this stuff. And she's at the door. She's got her gun and shit. And we get that shot from, I think it's in the trailer, where he shoots his hands through the glass and he grabs her head. And he's going to do it again. And I wish that wasn't in the trailer because, she gets out of it. But it's like we've seen him kill a couple times this way. I felt very unsure for her.
Right.
And it was very violent. Like,
but
that was clearly Jamie.
He hears her scream. Like, he hears her yell for Ray.
Mm.
I believe that's the scene where he's like, oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah.
And then he goes to murder. And
so
then
she breaks free and stuff.
Yes. How does she break free, Dale?
Oh fuck yeah, I forgot about this.
Ooh.
Because like I said, she's at the door with the shotgun, and he breaks it and grabs her head, and she's tries to fight him off, and it's looking bad, and she gives a little and she just aims it right about here, and boom, blows 3 of his fucking fingers off on his left hand.
We hear a little groan. We hear a little groan from him, a la part 1, where they're sort of struggling in the closet, and you hear a little, like you hear a little bit of sounds, Yeah.
Yeah, and I never thought of that, even like leading up to the movie, that they would mess with the look of Michael Myers. Like he's gonna lose an arm in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that they would blast some fingers off, but they do. She does. Loses 3 of them, I believe, and she heads downstairs. And she's like, "All right, we're gonna be safe down here." And this was a little weird, but these characters are all broken, so I'll accept it. They're down in the safe room with all these guns, which good. That's where I would be. And we hear Michael upstairs. You know, we can see the shadow through the floorboards and stuff, even though there's tile up there. And she's like, "I have to go finish this. I have to end this." Oh no, she shoots through the floorboard. Suddenly there's no movement. And she's like, "All right, I need to go finish this. Stay down here, honey." And Karen does, which is good. Stay out of my movie. This begins a very good 5+ minute sequence of Laurie going upstairs, looking for Michael, checking each and every room downstairs, following blood trails, checking the closet. Check behind the window. Every time she clears a room, she's got like a panic thing, and a gate closes it off. So it's like, you know, just you're running out of room. Out of room. You can't go in there and do a thing later, motherfucker.
Right.
So she's process of eliminating this shit. Sees the blood on the guardrail upstairs. Okay, so she goes upstairs. Checks one room. It's good. Boom. Door shut. She goes into the hall. She looks at the room down the hall and she smiles. Why does she smile? I assume because it's the last fucking room in the house. If he's here, he's got to be in there. And I'm on the edge of my seat. I was like, "Oh, we did it." It's like, "I know you're in there, Mike." We didn't need that. She just smiles. She's finally going to get what she's been wanting all this time. And we go in there and
follows
it's
the handprints.
Yeah, bloody handprints. It's the mannequin room where she stores her fucking creepy shooting dummies and stuff. And there's a closet and there's a balcony opening situation like in the end of the original movie. Yep. And the room is very. And she clears it. She opens one side of the closet. You know, nothing. You know,
there's a handprint on the closet.
Yeah. Quickly turns around and she starts to lose it a bit. She starts to lose her shit, and she checks the other side of the closet. Maybe he's hiding in the. He's not in there either, so he's got to be in here. He's got to be in. And she was so bold and confident a minute ago, but now she's on the verge of tears, and it's awful. It feels so long, and you know, is he behind one of these dummies? Is he on the? And boom, he jumps out from one of the mannequins, and we got ourselves a little fight scene here. Which is good. It's hard. It's like if Rey Mysterio fights the Big Show, it's like we can only do this match for so long before it's blue.
Yeah, it's like Supernatural. Like I'm a demon that can kill anybody, but if it's a Winchester, I'm gonna throw him around the room for a little while. It's like the irritating dude at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, where like Jason is literally like punched holes through people, but like I'm just gonna keep throwing this main protagonist around, just gonna pick him up and toss him around the yard.
Yeah. But it's quick. She takes advantage of the fact that he lost 3 fucking fingers. She's doing some good like self-defense maneuvers to not get stabbed. She's trying to get him, but she does end up getting stabbed because he's Michael Myers. I'm so sorry, Laurie. She takes one in the midsection, and they stumble out onto the balcony, and Laurie takes a tumble off, rolls, falls, boom. She does not look good. Meanwhile, in the front of the house, door opens, in walks Allison. Allison's back. She mother, grandmother, God, I hate it. But she says this shit. So Michael, you know, is that
another one?
Oh, all right, that's good to know. Let me see where Laurie Strode is at, and Laurie Strode is gone. Okay.
Michael Myers his fucking ass. That was like such an overt reversal scene, but it was beautifully done. It made perfect sense why he would look away and go look back.
Yeah. There's a couple moments like that, which I definitely appreciated, where she's the hunter. And this was obviously one of the bigger ones. Got a pop, I'm sure, in the theater.
Yep. And you know it's coming. Like when she fell out of the window, I'm like, he's gonna look away and she's gonna be gone.
No, well, here's how they made it bearable. She takes a tumble.
Mm-hmm.
She falls. Boom. She's in the grass. If he just looks away, if he just hears, grandmother, and he does that, and then back, it's not going to play as well. But what they do is she hits the grass, and almost as soon as she hits the grass, the filmmakers are saying, "Don't pay attention that she just hit the grass," and then we're doing a thing because we're opening the door and it's Allison. So now people are thinking of, oh, Allison in danger, and we cut right back, and Michael's doing it. They do it so fast in a way to almost distract you before you can realize what they're doing. But of course, most people are going to see it. I just appreciate a lot of what they did. But yeah, she Michael Myers the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Oh, we know it's on, but we also know Allison's there. And Allison, she hasn't been training for 40 fucking years like Laurie has. So Karen becomes brave, and she comes up and she says, "No, honey, get down here. That motherfucker's in the house." And they get downstairs, and we're getting to the end of it, folks. They get down. We get down there. Karen's got a gun. She grabs one of her old guns because Laurie made her shoot. She made her box. She made her do self-defense. And so she grabs her old gun as a kid before social services took her, and she's got it. And
got her initials carved into it. But
they've sealed off the door, the kitchen counter mechanisms over the door, which is the point of it. But that Michael Myers, he's a strong dude.
He hears him talking too.
Yeah, she's just like, "I'm so sorry, Mom." And Mom's like, shut the fuck up. Right. So he hears where they're at. They're downstairs, and it takes him a bit, but he manages to remove the counter from the stairs, and they're down there, and Karen's looking up with the gun, and there's nobody there. He's probably off to the side because that's what he does. And Karen's crying. This is very stressful. And she breaks down just like Laurie did, a minute ago. And she says, "Mom, I can't do it. I'm so sorry, Mommy. I can't do it." And she lowers the gun. Michael Myers steps up, reveals himself to be there. And Karen gets that gun back up and says, "Gotcha." Boom, shoots him right in the fucking neck. And then we get another Laurie Strode as Michael Myers moment, where as he stumbles back from his neck gunshot, Laurie's behind him in the door frame shadows, and she emerges from the shadows like Michael did in that good scene in Halloween. And I think she says, "Happy Halloween, Michael," or something like that, and gives him a stabbing, and they have another little close quarters fight. She hits him with a frying pan, all that kind of stuff, and she gives him a good whack, and he ends up tumbling downstairs where the girls are, and Karen and Allison manage to get upstairs. He does grab, I think, Karen on the way up, but Allison grabs a butcher knife and just gives him a couple right there, Fred's, and he has to break his grip, so the girls get out. Laurie hits the fucking trap door, which seals off the entrance, which we didn't know that was there. We've seen all this other shit,
not.
But we see this get sealed off.
We see all these electric elements heat up.
Yeah. We see some burners and stuff like that. And Laurie goes and grabs a flare. And unfortunately, this is the part where and this is a reshoot. This is a reshoot because we know how we talked about the original ending where it was more ambiguous. There was a crossbow with him getting shot, and it was very, is he alive? Is he not alive? And I noticed this because it had a lot of crossbow shots in it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, because you were going to use that. So you're setting it up. Unfortunately, you listen to producers or audiences for some reason. So they trap him down there, and they're about to set him on fire. We can all see it coming. She grabs the flare, cracks it open, throws it down there. Sure enough, starts a fire, and he's just standing there, on the little stair ladder, and he's just looking up at him.
Now, what is the line again? I don't remember. She's like, "This isn't a
this isn't a cage. It's a trap."
No, she doesn't. They don't go all the way. They don't go like full corny with it. They do half.
Yes, they do. She says honey, it's not a cage. It's a trap. They
Does
do.
she? I
Jim.
thought she just says
all-
it's not a cage. It's something else. It's
it's a trap. To trap him. Pretty sure that's it. And it was bad, and it's very unfortunate.
No, it wasn't a cage though. What was the fucking word they used? Because you don't hide in a cage, right? I don't remember. I don't remember the line. I just remember there is a line.
Yeah, and it's not
And
great.
it didn't need to be there at all. Like, yeah,
No, at
obviously.
all. Yeah.
Obviously.
Or the first part of it would have been fine. Like, like looking at her mom, like,
Mhm.
it wasn't a cage, and they share maybe a little look. Even that's probably a bit much, but you don't do both of them. It's not a cage; it's a trap. It's like, who's there for the flyover states? Who's that for? I hated
It's
it.
a good point. There are a lot of those.
So yeah, the house in general, we see this room's on fire, that room's on fire. They do cut back to this basement, and it's on fire, but we don't see Michael Myers. I noticed that in my second viewing.
Yeah, we don't see him on fire. We don't see him in there.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Before all that happens, he's just calmly looking at them through the bars.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah,
not
he's not
H2O.
like-
I'm pinned behind the. I'm trying to trick you and take my mask off while I'm pinned by the truck and like, no, I love you, Michael. I'm gonna reach for you. He's just like, no, I want to kill them, but they're over there.
It's like, can I kill through these bars?
Mhm.
Maybe. So they leave the house because it's fucking on fire.
Yeah, I was like, hurry! Can you please? I was getting anxiety. I'm like, can you get out of the house, please? Carbon monoxide everywhere. Like, can you just go? You can't breathe. Don't breathe in so much smoke. Just get out of there.
The three women leave. They tend to Lori a bit because she's been stabbed in the gut. Allison hears a pickup on the way, then down the road, and she's like, I'll go fucking flag it down. And she does. They flag it down. We need your help. Give us a ride. And, yep. So they're all in, and I think the back of this pickup truck, and
Yep.
they're tending to Lori. And the last shot of the movie is those two, Karen tending to Lori, and it pans over to Allison, who's been through hell, and it goes down to her hand where she is holding a bloody butcher knife.
Yeah, she is.
So
And it didn't. I don't think that rung with me like maybe it's rung with some other people. Rang with me? I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised because we heard like the test audiences didn't like the ending because they were pretty much doing the ending of the original where it's like, oh, we thought we got him, but it seems he's alive and he got away. For some reason, they didn't like that, so they went with the Halloween 2 ending where they set him on fire. That's very John Carpenter. Fuck you of them.
And then his own doctor, of all people, shot him 6 times. Then he
But
set him on fire.
For a couple things, we don't see him on fire, and at the very end of the credits, we hear Michael Myers breathing. Like, take that for what you will.
People have read way too hard into that, I think. That's just a nod to the original. The original movie, he gets shot, he falls out the window, and then they cut to all the shots from that he's been in the ending sequences, and we hear him breathing. And it's just to let you know, like, and Michael Myers could be at your house. I don't think it's not an overt, he lived for sure. It's just, I think it's a nod. It's like a...
Yeah, it's like when she's in
could be
high school and she
anywhere.
looks out the window and Laurie's
Yeah.
there instead of another she's Michael Myers spot. There's a bunch of that. Love that. So what are your thoughts on the ending in regards to 2 things? One, the fire and Michael Myers and find this to be an acceptable ending, and 2, the Allison. Like, what are you saying, filmmakers?
Allison is not going to be the killer in the next movie. She's not turning evil. I think that shot was more to let. That shot is more of like she came through in the end. Like it took all 3 generations of these Strode women to take down Michael Myers. That's how I thought of it. I didn't see it as her because again, Halloween 4 was different. they've established there's a bloodline, their family. She's almost his age. She picks out the same costume. That's a weird coincidence. And then something, she's so young and impressionable, and this triggers her, and then she stabs her mom at the end, right? But to me, this is different. There's no relation here. This man is a murderer. He's on the prowl. He's killing. But this is not. This, to me, the ending changes from the time the doctor kills Haskins. Harold Hawkins. From that moment on, it changed my perception of the first movie. And I think people are putting this, they're overlaying this narrative on top of Michael Myers, and he's just thirsty. I'm just trying to kill people.
Yeah, it's going to, obviously, this movie and all the Halloween series don't change the original, but it will be fun watching the original Halloween, just like knowing what he's capable of. Like, I know what's in you.
This Michael Myers was terrifying. You could definitely feel the change. You could sort of feel the pensiveness in the first movie where he's like stalking, and when do I, like, I'm back in my old town. This is where I killed my sister. I haven't killed anybody since then. We still don't know we don't know why he killed his sister. We don't know what made him do this because according to everything we know up until that point, he was just a normal little boy. Boom, he kills his sister. For 15 years, Loomis studied him. Did that drive Loomis insane? Did Loomis let him out? Was Loomis really a bad guy? Did Loomis teach him how to drive? This changes the possibilities. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying that was their intention, but it makes you have to question that. Because seeing this guy for 40 years locked away, not speaking, turned off, boom, turned off. He's tuned down. Oh, he's very aware. Yeah, but he's off. Dormant. He's dormant. And this guy's like, I want to kill people. So the lengths that this doctor went to kill this, he had to have killed somebody on the bus to make it crash. He had to let Michael out of the chains of the restraints. When he was like, when he broke free from, like, what? He's not fucking Superman. He didn't just, and why would he? He was just totally passive, dormant. Oh, you're moving me? Okay. This doctor sort of riled up the beast. He stoked the flames. This doctor's like, I'm going to bring you to Laurie. I don't think Michael gives a fuck about Laurie. I think he's just a bloodthirsty killer. And this doctor wants to hear him speak.
That's a good point. Because when I was
40
watching
years of not hearing him speak, and this doctor will do anything to hear this motherfucker say a word.
That's a very good point. Because as I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he wants to kill Laurie. That's the one that got away. I almost alluded to it with Oscar. He's like, did you ever meet a girl that you really wanted but you couldn't get her?
Oh yeah, that line was totally aimed at that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he doesn't like I said, I thought he was looking for car keys at first. You know, like he wants to get to Laurie. He had to be driven to Laurie just for that to almost happen. Otherwise he was just gonna kill some folks.
Because what happened? They pulled out. They were almost at the house. So where does he go? The next house that he finds.
Yeah.
Oh, there's people here. Good. I'm going to kill them. I want to kill people. Why does he want to kill people? Him not knowing why he's does what he does seemingly has driven two different doctors mad in different ways. It turned one psychologist into a fucking like Winchester, and it turned another one into a fucking psychopathic murderer. And we still don't know why. And that makes it so much scarier because it could be any. Once you find out he's going after his family, it gives you a little safety net as a viewer. I had a little safety net with Friday the 13th where me and my cousin came up with this theory that, well, Jason doesn't kill kids because he still is a kid, basically. And the kids didn't let him down. The counselors let him down. The adults let him down. He's hunting. The adults killed his mom. That's why he doesn't kill the campers in part 6. That's why he's not interested. gives you a little safety net when you're a little kid. Like, well, Jason's going to kill mom and I'm going to be okay. You got no safety net in this Halloween. This man is an animal. There's no safety net. And there's no clever little like, oh, I dressed up as this other guy and dressed you up like Michael Myers so I could slip away. Slip away? This motherfucker's a predator. He's just trying to kill people. He's not trying to slip away to come back another time.
No, but he will make a human jack-o'-lantern out of you. And set
Well, that just happened. He's like, oh, flashlight? Yoink. Going in the mouth.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's those are very good points.
He'll do little setups to make you scared. You know, he'll like, oh, I'll put this body in the closet, and then I'll hear him scream, and I'll know right where to get him. But he's not like the depths that they went to in part 4 and H2O, where he's like, I'm rocking in the rocking chair, holding this shotgun. Who could it be? It's Michael Myers. Like, they make him too intelligent to where he's almost not as scary.
He's like a crafty heel.
You need savageness. You need some.
He's not Ric Flair.
You need some brutality.
Oh,
but
man.
He can drive. He was doing very well last night when I taught him how to drive because he just won't speak. And if I can get him back to Haddonfield, maybe I can hear him speak. But then maybe Loomis has remorse about it. Loomis wants to kill him because Loomis feels guilt. What have I done? He's driven me mad, and I let him go because why would I get out of the car and leave my nurse alone in the station wagon when I know Michael is out there loose? Because I was giving him lessons, and I wanted to get him a car and get him back to Haddonfield. It just blows my mind. Like, I don't know what to believe anymore. And I love this movie. I love it.
It's a very good movie. Not perfect. Pointed out plenty of things that were flaws. I'm excited most now that I've seen it twice about the rewatchability. I think whenever this comes out, I'm sure I'll get it, and it's just this is gonna be a movie that you can watch again and again, and it's gonna be fun. And it's gonna be great
and scary.
And scary, and you like, oh, I forgot about this part of this song kicks in here, and this is actually not a bad little song. What's
Michael
this
Myers
one?
scary again.
Oh boy!
And to me, they made him scarier. I was the most scared of him in this movie than I've been in any other movie.
Yeah, even at that age, which I thought that was a concern. It's like, just fucking tap his knee. He's old, but like, because even his gait, like his walk, it wasn't like, oh, there's that Michael Myers walk. It's like, nah, he's walking like he's as fuck. But he's gonna kill you.
But he's thirsty. He's still got the thirst.
He's gonna get you. So, I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was amazing. I was not prepared for that. I love that storyline. I thought she did great. I don't know what they'll do with a sequel. I think it just made $77 million, guys. There's gonna be a sequel.
It has, yeah.
Now, but
unfortunately, there has to be. Whether we want there to be.
Yeah. Now that one we might pretend doesn't exist. We'll find. But with that ending, that's what sucks. Is this wasn't their ending? You know,
right?
Her with the knife in the pickup truck wasn't their ending. The fire wasn't their ending. And now they potentially somebody has to write their way out of that. And that's gonna be a tough one.
There is no way to write your way out of this without making a H2O ending or
where you
H2O an H2O or a part 5 or and he fell into a stream or like he crawled out of the fiery window. There's no way you can do this without a Halloween Resurrection.
Yeah,
she disguised him as an ambulance. That was the worst one of all of them.
Or she had like a safety exit that opened up during the fire, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Something like that.
They're going to have to say is, it burned the floorboards, and he managed to climb out because the fire actually freed him. It's like I'm telling you right now, that's as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, and the toothpaste is out of the tube. We're not going to get that feeling again of, he's back. and he's the bloodlust. Because what do? Capture him again and lock him up again and he escapes again? Or do you H2O us and he's just been wandering around aimlessly?
Or do you Halloween to us and we pick up with the house on fire?
That's fine. That if they Halloween 2 this Halloween 2 and you give me that same night and that same vibe and that same fear and that same everything, that atmosphere that you built up in this one, and you continue it, then still though, then where do you go? Where do you go? You can't do like however long this was, a week, 5-day, 3-day story again. You got to do that same night. Got to finish that night.
Why? I mean, obviously, sequels and money is the answer, but why didn't they just have her kill him? Because now I'm thinking if they do Halloween 2, this movie where it's the same night and he escaped the fire, eventually you're gonna run out of steam and you're gonna want to put, a period at the end of this sentence called the Halloween franchise. Like, how does it end? It's got to end with Laurie Strode killing him, or maybe not, but it ends with him dying. What if he? Interesting. But like that's how it's got to end. Is he's actually dead because he's a human man. Human man body's got to die. How we do that? That's up to you guys. But let's fucking do it. Let's not do this. He's breathing at the end of the credits, and we didn't see him on fire in the basement. Fucking do it. Like we can book Laurie as champ. We can book Allison as champ for that.
But just book. Someone's got to be booked, Terry.
Yeah, but get Lonnie. Not booked. So, yeah, great fucking movie.
It was great. But John Carpenter saw this coming 40 years ago. And he said, I want to make another one. They said, make another one. He said, okay, I'll give you the rest of that night. They said, make another one. He's like, okay, but what if Halloween, we spin it off into different stories? Because there's nowhere we went everywhere with that. So he saw this coming. So what do? I don't know, wait another 10 years and say, what if, and go back. What if 50 years later he breaks out?
Yeah, we've somehow pushed it this far.
The only way you parlay this for me is, look, we're Blumhouse, we're Bloomfield.
Bloomy.
What we do is we take your horror franchise that you've driven into the ground and we sprinkle a little $100 million dust on it. So I think the sequel to this is Friday the 13th, Part 3, Part 4. Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street again. Just do that.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise and who's trying to reboot that and all that good stuff. Any more closing comments on this movie? Like I said, a lot of people, I'm surprised that people don't like it as much as they do. It's not perfect. I'll definitely give you that. But how do you not like it? Even if as a drama, they do all that Laurie Strode stuff very well. The Hawkins stuff, the doctor's interesting, and he has payoff. Or if you're like me and you just like some of that blood and guts, and you just like some stabbing, you get 19 stabbings and some strangles. It's great.
It's what Halloween 2 should have been. It's what Halloween 4 should have been. It's what H2O needed to be. This is the biggest payoff I've ever experienced as a moviegoer, where I went to the movies. I tried so hard. I got so hyped for H2O, and that broke me as a human. And I tried so hard ever since to not get all hyped about movies. And then I can't help it, and I get hyped up about it, and then I'm let down. And you and I were like, oh, they got us now. We're hyped. What the fuck are we going to do? John Carpenter's back. He's doing the score. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. The mask looks awesome. How are we not going to be excited for this? And it delivered on that hype. And when I told you my theory about Loomis and about, oh, you're the new Loomis and Sartain and what Michael has done to these professionals. Yeah. Even if we keep straight, Loomis is a good guy. He's definitely been driven mad by Michael.
But what I like about like the Loomis and you're the new Loomis is because the only one that exists in this timeline here is the original, and we saw Dr. Loomis and he was carrying a gun. He was fucking like he's kind of a loon then, and like. But he's sort of like idolized and put on this pedestal as the franchise went on. And oh, Dr. Loomis, oh, he sure did try. But Laura's just like, oh, you're the new fuckhead that's trying to work with him, but that's stupid. You're all stupid.
Right.
Like she doesn't have much respect for Dr. Loomis. It sounds like.
Yeah, you're his new doctor. I didn't let him out. I gave orders to have him restrained. In part 2, when Brackett's like, let him out. I'm like, motherfucker, maybe did let him out. Who knows at this point? We can't trust these doctors at Smith. What are they doing at Smith's Grove?
Can't trust them. They give me that. Give me some.
You can't trust him. You don't believe. Oh, he's gonna go back to the Myers house. I just have a hunch.
Yeah, we didn't see the Myers. They didn't do any of that shit here.
No Myers house in this. But I get a feeling like Michael has been directed around his whole life.
He's just
and
like
he
a
goes
dog on a
dormant.
chain.
That's the other thing is he has. I'll leave with this. This has let me know that he has periods of being dormant. Kills Judith, and then he's just standing there like, "Hey, Dad, what's going on? I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not thirsty anymore." And then he gets pent up like he hasn't come. You know, like, oh, I gotta come again. 15 years later, he's like, I'm out. Okay, I killed one guy. That's good enough for now. I kill these couple chicks. Kill that dude. I'm gonna get her. They caught me. Then 40 years later, he's just like, I gotta come. I haven't killed in 40 years. It's the longest period of time of my life I haven't killed. And he's just like, hammer, whack. Oh, I like this. I'm going to stab her. I'm going to kill him. It's like but before that, he's just like, I'm locked up. And then the doctor's like, go kill people so I can watch. And then you can't turn him off.
One thing that's interesting, and they probably just didn't want to deal with it at all, but they never said anything about Michael Myers like killing inmates or anything like that. It's like he actually killed a couple people. Now we had to put him in a hole because he did a thing. But apparently it seems that he didn't do that.
Yeah, it's true. But is it like it seems sort of sexual?
Could you imagine that? Oh, what a weird fucking movie that would have been. Where it's just like this, we're just at this nut house, and that the craziest nut of all's gotten loose. We're all fucked.
That was in talks. That was in talks. I think before Mustafa died. That was going to be the next one. It was like a treatment that was floating around. He's locked up. They caught him, and he's running amok in an asylum, killing people.
Not the worst.
He's a force of nature. He's got bloodlust. It's a sexual part of him, I think, because he started with a female. He's hunting the females down, and the guys are just kind of. I need those coveralls. I need that car. But who is he going like? Ooh, I want this one.
I need that vape. 2018's fun. Give me that vape.
I want vape.
I'm
so
real
happy
quick.
with it.
Like I said, I'm watching it, and I know the talking and say something, and we're trying to get him to talk, and I'm thinking he's gonna say something. Now, obviously, I was gonna pose the question: do you think Allison was lying to the doctor when she said,
100%.
"Oh, she did."
100% she was lying to the doctor.
Part of me wishes she wasn't. Like, it's so obvious, but part of me wishes later where she's like, he actually fucking did, And I don't know. That's such a nice little bullet in the chamber to play with there. But they stayed in their lane and they did a great job.
Since I was 3 years old, I've known as a fact of my existence that Michael Myers doesn't talk. We've never heard him speak. He doesn't talk. He's never talked in any movie.
My fucking fingers.
So
shot him off.
I think they want to drive us crazy with it. Like, ooh, this is where he talks. No, he doesn't. I'm not talking. I don't do that. I kill.
I feel very badly about what happened with Mrs. Strode. But I will do it again. Sorry.
Judith had nice tits. I shouldn't have killed her.
I was just trying to touch them, but I forgot I had a knife in hand. I stabbed the titties. Yeah, they flash back there a little bit. Mm-hmm. I was just like, of all the scenes, you just hear those titties from 1978. And I was like, well, thank you.
I'm like, those still hold up?
Yeah, nice. All right, I think we've got our closing statements. We'll let the jury handle it.
I told people, I said, I legit 100%. This is going to be way longer than the actual movie that we're talking about. I can assure you of that.
147, I think the movie came in at. This is good time. I didn't want it to end either. I was like, oh, this is the finale, and I didn't want it to end. I was like, now chase him outside. Chase him back outside. Just keep going. He's driving the truck. Anything. So I think that's going to do it. See the movie if you haven't. I mean, you just kind of listen to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you haven't seen it and you listen to this, sorry, you're fucked.
Oh, shit. Any plugs, Jim?
Nope.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 42. Thanks for listening. I'm the new Loomis.
I'm Crazy Lonnie.